that preparation. The month of May, it has come alive, and we're so glad to have you here for the 30th e-ticket event. Welcome to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm John Ramos alongside Jarrett Lundberg. Brand new studio, still working out some things, but we did get some new things going your way. Get ready, those overlays. They look a little interesting, including if you've watched the NTT IndyCar Series in 2025. We have brought it to life, as well as 43 drivers ready to bring the track to life for all you watching back at home. Welcome to the 2025 Indiana 500. Jared, we got so much to get to now within a condensed amount of time. What's the big thing to chunk out before we take the green flag?
Big thing to chunk out with us? Well,
oh yeah, with us.
Let's get into why. We're gonna be fast tonight. We're gonna be fast on the track. We're gonna be fast with strategy. Finish is gonna come faster than you think it ever could. But the other part of it too is we're gonna be full fast at this pre-race here. We might get to everyone's favorite section and segment really quick because much like a lot of people in the country, we have tornadoes on the way maybe.
Yeah, of course. You know, why would it not? This isn't the first time weather has impacted an event. You look back to the Garage Guys 499, James Thurston, checker flag came up, had to lift his PC up because there was a good chance he's going to get storm surge from a hurricane. California 500 with us. We lost power 3 days leading into the event, and we lost it for a full 4 days. We lost a lot of time on the workings of that event, and for this one today, we do have heavy cells coming through. Drivers will also be impacted as well, so we decided to say we are going to drop the green flag, what looks to be now at 8:17, and roll the cars at 8:15. So we got to get to it. Let's start off. No bump day for this year's Indiana 500 with me working at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That kind of started to put a wrench into some plans. We had a great amount of signups, but instead of 38 drivers taking the green flag, it is now 43. We don't have those hybrid components, but the drivers have mentioned the track is racing just a little bit different than what we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, I took some notes from what they were saying, and a big part of it is fuel to start with. You save, you might get 30, 35 laps. If not, and the fuel map that they're running so far this year, it's around 27, 28. The tire wear is a little bit more. It shouldn't be bad, but it's something to watch for depending on the way that strategies go late in this race. We saw last year, strategy was a huge, huge factor in the closing green flag run of that race to the finish. We saw, I believe it was Hamilton Akabuizi and Caden Rush had mastered it, as well as a couple others, but that's going to be key. Getting that fuel and tire mixture together and how different it is this year compared to last.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have talked about how they worked the weight jacker this year a little bit different than times past. Turn 2 is a little more tricky than it was last year. And it's interesting because we still have those, should we say, calmer winds. We have the cooler track conditions. But think back just a couple months ago for an NR night in America, we had 43 cars. We went out in, I want to say maybe 7, 8 degrees warmer temperatures. We wrecked 90% of the field. And we're just all shaking our head. I spoke to drivers after, and they said because it was just that much more, it made that much big of a difference. So we took the time to go session after session, checking the temperature, checking the cloud cover, checking the time of day, so the conditions can be at its best. And for 43 drivers, they unanimously agreed for the ones that went testing that these are the conditions to put on the best show. And tonight, we're going to see a little bit of pack racing. We're going to see a lot of passing, but we could see mistakes. A lot of these guys are stock car drivers. Some of them originally were open wheel specialists turned NR regulars. Who stands out? Is it the winners that have always been here with us, or do we see another Hamilton Akabuizi go top of the board and win an e-ticket?
Yeah, I really think it is the first half of the race attrition. That's going to be a big factor in this is, can you just avoid other people's mistakes? Because there's going to be guys, like you said, that are inexperienced, but because of that inexperience, they could take guys who are experienced out of this thing. So that's going to be a huge key into this thing and who we might be picking to win.
Indeed, and we're going to get into the picks in just a matter of moments as we are 4 minutes from qualifying. Jarrett, let's start it with you. That underdog pick looks a little bit familiar of times past.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through and watched the end of last year's race, just kind of remind me of who was up there. And I was surprised with about 10 or so to go, roughly, who was in the top 5 and top 10 running the finish. Gavin Austin was somebody who's up there. Watch him to have a good run. He keeps going under the radar, needs a bit of redemption after coming oh so close in Alabama.
Yeah, he was mere inches from winning his first e-ticket, but if you're going to follow to someone, you might as well follow to someone that got his third. In this case, I kind of like the story heading in. Here's a driver that has raced in NR in times past, but you don't know him for that, right? He's a league racer. He races for 609 Motorsports, and this is not a new team to e-tickets. They made their debut at Le Mans for the World Grand Prix. Give me Jeremy Miller. He runs an area. He found out that Connor Horn would not be running in the Indiana 500 and said, let's continue that crossover because area runs every single Monday. He wants to see if he could build his base over there as well. 609 right now, the most loved team on that side. Jeremy Miller, he was strong in practice. He was strong leading in. He's confident. Give me the 30.
Well, going to the Fast Four, I was looking through again. A lot of specialists versus who was good last year. Somebody I really like, and I've already told him if he's able to win, he needs to have one of the inside jokes of the Discord, has to come out to the public, have some fun with it. Give me Zachary Truel,
Bang.
Not Zach, in the 28 car. I think he is going to be bad fast. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself to do well. He's been talking a lot about it. I think he can do pretty well.
Now, I do know that our picks are on the mirrored side. It just happened to be like that way for the production. So just know these are Jared's picks. And my pick is about to go right there.
Those are his.
You're about to get into that.
Put it in right here.
Guess what? We're in a rush. I think Caden Rush is going to be one as well. That number 10 machine, it was fast last year. He only races on the open wheel side with us now. He is an e-ticket winner. He won the Garage Guys 499. And I think with the weather coming in, with everyone kind of in that go, go, go mode, he knows how to be persistent. Caden Rush, he's going to be one to watch.
And you know what, John? All I can say, ditto. He's going to be really, really fast in this one. Make him my number 3 pick because he is going to be up at the front in this race.
Indeed, Caden Rush is going to be a lot of fun to go ahead and watch. But here's a driver that has not been racing with us often in e-tickets. Enter Night in America, you can catch him any time, any day. But with the e-tickets being primetime Friday night and him mostly being on the road with his in-person career, Adam Walker found a weekend to remember. The first IndyCar race back on this YouTube channel was January 2024 when iRacing lifted the streaming ban because of the legal issues with the NTT IndyCar series. Walker went to victory lane. He's going to be one to watch. I think he can do it tonight.
Well, I think somebody else is going to be one to watch. He's running the scheme that everyone's going to be watching this weekend and most likely next. And he also has the speed to back it up. I think Kevin Champagne will be up front in this one and might be popping the champagne bottles at
KC.
night's end.
Heck yeah, and he was also close last year. That's a very good pick. I think we also have to stick with someone that was in that group, right? We saw the top 2 pull away. They had that big moment that you'll remember for the next 20 or so years. But there's somebody with Kevin Champagne that says if I would have just played a little bit better on the fuel map and was a little bit better on and off pit road, I would have found victory lane. And he's someone that wants to be tied once again for the most e-ticket wins. He's going for 3. Braden Movick in that 42. His McVice scheme has changed just ever so much. It is brighter. You're not going to be able to miss it. And he knows about heartbreak in Indianapolis.
Not only heartbreak, he needs a turnaround. He has had a rough year, not even a top 10 in any of the first 4 e-tickets this year. So it's definitely going to be getting over the hill for him on that one, just breaking back through. But as for who's going to win, all right, there's a lot of really good options. There's a lot of new people coming in. It's a lot of stock car guys that have gotten pretty good. But if something works, why do something different and pick someone else? Hamilton Akabueasy. I mean, he's the guy who just was in another league last year. Why would I not pick him?
What's really cool about him is we didn't see him after the Indiana 500. I was like, are you done with us? He's like, oh no, I'll be back next year. I was like, all right. January rolled around. You're still in for Indiana. He's like, oh, of course I am. I don't need to race that stock car stuff. I'm an open wheel guy. And here's a really cool stat. iRacing has their own Indianapolis 500s. 3 drivers in this field won their top split. Boise was one of them. Truel was another. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Aiden Walker in that number 98 machine. So you may be saying, okay, who's going to be that pick, right? You got a little bit of stats. I say with NR, nothing is ever the same. Things are always changing, and just when you think you have those stats right, you're going to put that bet in, and for sure it's going to cash out, and you're going to be sitting on a yacht. You just got to know it is never over No, I was going to say that wrong. It's never over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over, and that's a line that Zachary Truhl has used multiple times. He came in an IndyCar specialist. He's now here as a fan favorite, and I think that 28 is going to find victory lane.
It's going to be pretty darn good tonight, and so are a lot of others in the field. And in a few moments, you're going to know where all of them start and who's got the new schemes this year. There's some pretty good ones out there.
Yeah, we got a lot to go ahead and get into and kind of catch you up before the green flag, so let's do it trackside here for Indianapolis as we get ready for the 30th e-ticket event. Welcome to the Indiana 500 live on the Idk Player YouTube channel. We are qualifying right away. Jared, I can't even think of the last time we went that quick from a pre-race. I mean, it was what? The NR Cup Series, easy in, easy out, and things to know, left side of your screen, it's just not Honda and Chevrolet that have decided to bring chassis for this event. You have Renault with David Joyner. You have the Cadillacs in as well. We saw Fords of times past, and unfortunately for some of those Ford fans, it looks like they cannot go ahead and continue their great stride they've had this year. 19 Chevrolets, 18 Hondas, 6 Cadillacs, and 1 Renault are competing for gold here in Indy.
I think that's going to be one of the most interesting factors too, which ones are able to excel out of that group. We're seeing as we run Gavin Austin top of the board to start it out with 2 minutes left of qualifying.
Indeed. And you mentioned you're off to a great start because of that kind of high you're able to run. Gavin Austin's father was driving home during the Alabama 500. He had to pull over when he realized his son had a shot to be immortalized in this community. Now, Hector Collazo, this 95, was on the scene in Le Mans, and his 95 really has not changed much. Starting to see an RGR 1-2-3 form up. Who's sitting in fourth? I might as well call him now our IndyCar guy because Max Swearinger, and that's what he mainly does now on iRacing. He has that Graham Rahal 15 lined in, one of his few e-ticket starts that he's going to make in 2025.
Yeah, and that car looks good both in speed and look. Currently 5th on the board. Walker, top of the board.
You're going to see the speeds at the bottom of your screen. Let's kind of dive into some drivers before we get going. Terrell Owen back with Ancient World Gaming in his 09. He heads on the track. Sean Rowe, he stuck to one scheme all year up until this event. He actually got sponsors for these e-tickets, and for him, 230 miles per hour is something not too shabby. Devins Baker is back with us. Same with Riker Byron.
Rush, top of the board. Another change.
Are we surprised?
No. No.
Are we surprised?
Donskoy up to 3rd as well. So you're starting to see that shuffle in the last minute of qualifying.
We're going to get into all the times in just a moment. Left side of your screen, you see it. Mosteller is the 4-pack alive in that gold 87.
It might be. We didn't even have him in our top 5. Underdog, nothing.
Because he failed to qualify last year.
Yeah, Mubbock up to P4. Tal Owen putting the lap down right before the buzzer.
Here he is. The man to beat once again. Can Hamilton Akabuizi do it once more? Top of the board and with 12 seconds left on provisional lead in Indy.
Kevin Champagne comes back for his lap. 19th on the board. How much can he improve here? Cross the yard of bricks.
Does he lead us to green? No, he does not. He goes what looks to be the 7th position, and right where he left off a year ago, Hamilton Akabuizi will say hello from the racing capital of the world, trying to see if he can go 2 for 2.
Well, John, field set. A lot of different guys through the field. You see Drugman, he's in 19th, 2-time e-ticket winner. 2 in a row, his first 2 this year. Gonna have to come a long way if he is to match Mosteller with 3.
Some guys towards the back half, they're gonna have some work to do. 43rd, 42nd, 41st. You're looking at Krall, Gutierrez, as well as Sandra McKinney. They got some things to roll if they want to go to victory lane. Here's Daniel Mosteller already gritting up there in 2nd. Hector Collazo, 2 pace laps, and we are going. If you're feeling like this is a rush, I wouldn't say really that case, but due to the things that are going on around us and in everyone's area, we must go. And for that, 200 laps, the story is ready to go.
Well, so to kind of give more context to all of what's going to go on tonight, there is Gonna be storms in the area, tornadoes possible, all of that. We should, though, make it. If not, John, we do have tornado protocol.
We do. Tornado protocol, pretty simple. If you are a driver and you're under a watch, you'll do just that. You'll watch. If you're under a warning, announce quickly, I'm under a tornado warning, pull aside safely, and exit the racetrack, go to a safe place. When you come back, you can get back up to the lead lap. For us, almost that same way. We're probably going to be under a watch tonight before we see the checkered flag. So we're going to watch. If we're under a warning, the caution will come out. The drivers will then start pacing. If we lose this stream, this is for all the viewers back at home, we lose you, and it is not past halfway, the race is not official. We will come back. Now, if we manage to still, not have any underlying issues, power grid didn't go out, and we think we can get back within 30, 40 minutes,
we'll do it.
We're going to do it. We're going to restart the stream, and we're going to finish that race with you all watching. But if we can't, we will continue to work things out and keep an eye on socials for you all watching. If we get past halfway and it's not looking good for us to continue, the driver leading by the time the stream went out is considered the winner of the 30th e-ticket event. Now, we don't want to do that past halfway stuff. The goal is to get to the checkered flag, and we're going to do anything and everything to get there, but you just never know.
I chuckle, John. There's always something that sets every e-ticket apart. There's an identity, like whether it's good or bad. Great stuff, great finishes to some of the super speedways like Florida this year and last, Alabama in years past. On the bad side, NWP 400, we had all these issues, but we're always going to remember it as the fog race.
Oh.
This race could be remembered as the race against the weather race for an e-ticket event.
Darlington not having the lights work.
Yeah, there's always something going on. Then you see them now, 2x2 start. Here's row 1, Hamilton Akabuezi with the pole, Daniel Mosteller, P2 in gold.
Now remember, we are going to get the 1 to go next time by. 1 to go next time by. So let's see, row 1, Akabuezi, Daniel Mosteller, yes, row number 1.
Row 2, Caden Rush and Aiden Walker, two fast guys in the second row.
Row number 3, Braden Mubbing and Hector Colazzo joining in. Colazzo trying to make up lost time from Europe.
Row 4, Kevin Champagne, that Larson machine, and Yaroslav Donskoy from Russia.
Row number 5, Gavin Austin joins in with Terrell Owen.
Row number 6, Everett Counts and Jacob Malone.
Row 7, Max Swearigan and Davis Lewis in the Verizon 12.
Row 8, we're looking at Jeremy Miller and Yahir Rodriguez.
Row 9, Zachary Truhl and David Joyner, the lone Renault.
And at the back half of the top 20, Van Drugman, two-time e-ticket winner with Eric Lombard in the 58.
Row 11, Joe West has joined us with Dale Greenwood.
Then you got Trevor Huff and Dub Zensko in the row 12.
Row 13, Sean Rowe and Christian Delgado.
Next row 14, Abraham Vila and Adam Contreras, and that M&M's machine. Would have been what Kyle Busch could have ran.
Row 15, Jeff Perchatsky is back, this with Jackson Buys.
Row 16, Chad Hornish and Jaden Hall. Hornish, that's a good name for Indy.
Indeed. Devins Baker, first e-ticket in a while. He's lined up with Max Steinmeier.
Row number 18, Zachary Chavino and Riker Byram from Texas.
Row 19, Connor Murphy, James Pomar, with row 20 being Derek Shaver, Chase Crawl, and row 21, Brad Gutierrez, Xander McKinney, lining up and ready to go. Are you ready, Jared?
I'm ready.
Showtime.
Let's get going.
From Indianapolis. Drivers work their way down through turns 3 and 4. Every year we have one e-ticket event. Now on the open wheel side, last year we introduced this to the sim racing world. They fell in love with it right away. Here's to many more Indiana 500s. Here's to many more great moments from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's light the fuse in the Hoosier State. And quickly, 2 by 2, they stay to the short chute.
Akabuisi, though, with the lead. First and only time they'll be 2 by 2 tonight.
Oh, Braden Movick, you see him on the inside. He's already toe-to-toe with Braden Movick with Walker Colazzo. Don scoring the shoot out of the line for the 42.
Big move entering into turn 1. Braden Movick takes the lead, entering 3 and 4.
You got one on the wall, Yahir Rodriguez. The driver from Illinois has punched it with the right side. He's going to drop back. We don't see any other underlining issues. To the line, it's the Minnesota native. Here comes Rush downstairs.
Movick had it. Rush takes it. Rush to the lead. Turn 1 right over that 42. Colazzo up to third.
Yeah, we know about the spin and win with Danny Sullivan, but this other Kentucky native wants to see if he can get it done on the Sim side, and Honda will take the lead down the backstretch. Mostly single file. A look to the bottom for Movick, almost reminiscent from what we saw a year ago. The charades are back and forth.
And you're going to see this all night long. There is a real chance of maybe 100 lead changes tonight. Movick going to take it now. Rush getting that draft down the front. Does he go out, try and get the lead at the Art of Bricks? He does. Movick leads it.
Inside move, Rush to the bottom, and he can take full advantage. Buisi led us to green. He's back and forth. Mosteller is in 5th. We kind of go back just for the moment to hear what's possibly going on deeper in the field with some things that may have changed. No, Dovchenko hasn't stopped yet. He's back in 25th, but it is getting rough and rowdy where there's Bomar, Max Steinmeier, the PBR drivers. Some drivers in the aggressive mood of let's go, let's go, let's go.
Oh, smoke, we had a crash.
Spinning down to the inside.
Do they keep it green?
It was Davis Lewis and I think Jeremy Miller. Miller in the 30 machine, 2 drivers involved in the incident. Far enough away from the leaders and no caution because of it.
They keep it green up front. Rush, Movick, Colazzo, they're all evenly spaced between each other, entering and exiting 2.
Let's go see what happened with these drivers that were running deeper in the back. This is a replay.
You're seeing kind of the snake of the draft, too.
So there's Miller in the number 30 machine. Paint scheme based off of Tony Stewart. He was a big Tony Stewart fan growing up.
All right, entering 3. Oh, there was contact in the wall.
I think Lewis got in the wall first, and that's where the incident happened. I'm surprised it did not bring out a caution.
Yeah.
Let's watch again. It is now too late to go in and throw the yellow.
They're going to stay green.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I think possibly should have brought the yellow out for. You see him, he's already in the wall for Davis Lewis. And pow goes the rest of the field.
And you see what that damage does. It's just nothing they can do.
Braden Movick, the charge and the fighting has not stopped. He has Caden Rush just behind him, and the limbo move it is for Rush across the line. Won't beat the Chevrolet to turn 1, but will now get full advantage heading his way to the chute.
And we're going to see this all night. We saw it at the end of last year's race. When the back and forth, you want to be that second guy, get that draft, and hope you time it out perfectly. You're seeing Movick now right to the back, makes the move down low, enters into 3, gonna have the position, down low, got it, he's clear.
And they're gonna continue the shuffling back and forth. You're watching the Indiana 500 live on the IDK Player YouTube channel, an associate sponsor by Vega Dog Autosport. Whoever leads the most laps will be gifted $25. We got to see how that went in the last event, and it's a swap back and forth. Yes, new overlays, that reminiscent of the Fox IndyCar side, but we kind of keep everything else the same. Most laps led, 6. Braden Movick. We're going to continue to monitor things as they go. Yes, early, but Rush really wants the $25 as well.
The funny thing about big crash,
and that's off turn number 2.
Caution is out.
Jacob Malone.
There's one more down on the bottom in the grass.
Scheme very much reminiscent of Christian Lundgaard and then maybe David Joyner, and the lone Renault is out early here in Indy.
Let's see what happened here, but we knew, just like last year, there's going to be that attrition early on in the race, and you have to survive it if you're going to win this thing.
Yeah, look at the damage. Wow. Couple incidents already early, have not reached lap 10. We know a full fuel run can be in or around 30 to 35 laps, depending on what fuel map they do elect to use. Most drivers early on go on fuel map 1. They could go to fuel map 4. But not the start to this event I think most were expecting. Here's David Joyner. We did talk about Jacob Malone. There's Malone in 7.
Made contact. And they made contact but got out of it.
It just went around on its own.
Nothing that either of them could do about it.
It almost sounded like he downshifted.
I'll say this, though. Great job the rest of the field avoiding that. That could have been a massive 20-car pileup, and it wasn't.
Watch again. Kevin Champagne underneath. No, he did come up.
Oh, there was contact.
And we'll wait to see what the admins want to do with a driver that has won an e-ticket event in times past. Yaroslav Donskoy electing to stay out. Caden Rush has come to pit road with the rest of the leaders, and it's going to be a quick 4 tires and go. And strategy is going to be interesting. Once again, yes, we've always had no stages in e-ticket events, but with the open wheel side, fuel lotteries are pretty common. Some know how to work the weight jacker well, others possibly still trying to learn it, including with the limited amount of practice we have had for this e-ticket event. Dovchenko electing to stay out as well, and both the Russian-born drivers will be sitting 1-2 back to green.
Looks like Braden Movick wins the race off pit road. Now, earlier after the start, I'd said last time all night we'd see them side by side. I meant at the start with a restart, because restarts the rest of the way are old school, single file through the field, not going to have it doubled up. And John, there are some things that we didn't cover in the pre-race that are a bit different with this, that are very strictly IndyCar.
Yeah, no overtime, and we really dove into it last year, knowing that leading up to last year's Indiana 500, it seemed like every open wheel event with less than 4, 5, 6 laps to go, we ended under caution. And what that did was get a couple of these NASCAR normally viewed viewers scratching their head. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That race just ended under caution on iRacing. Why is that? This is just how things are, playing the rules differently because it is the open wheel side. If it is less than 7 to go and a caution comes out, there is no guarantee of a restart. We have it that way because there's no guarantee weather could impact us. There's no guarantee that we have to delay it because of underlying issues. Maybe there could have been something wrong with scoring. Less than 7 to go, be glued, because there's just no guarantee of what's next.
Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that we're going to just let it roll out if we can help it. Like, there still will be every attempt to finish it under green, but there is going to be that underlying drama to it, that at any moment, your favorite guy, they might win it, they might lose it, all because of one mistake.
Indeed. 10 laps in, 190 laps to go, and we get to go ahead and chime in with some of these drivers. Yes, they're out in the day, but I think early on we're looking like the usual suspects are ready to go for the e-ticket glory once again. Braden Movick quick, Caden Rush quick, and when Movick saw Rush and Boasi go toe-to-toe for that win, he felt like he was missing out. You know, like that meme of Squidward watching from his home down at SpongeBob and Patrick? He felt like he should have been there. I'm still not sure what they're going to do here with Kevin Champagne, if he's going to go ahead and get a penalty or not.
Real quick, if we can, let's update them on who has been taken out of this race already.
We do have a couple of drivers, David Joyner, Jacob Malone, and Davis Lewis. Jeremy Miller is in the pits with heavy damage. It could be leading. Just 38 drivers left going, the amount that started in last year's Indiana 500.
Yep, and you see them all lined up on the top. Donskoy leading the way in that 90 machine, well off the pace car. He's going to lead them into 4 onto the front stretch towards the yard of bricks.
Here we go again. Admins were undecisive for Kevin Champagne. He's going to get bailed out big time before this restart. We'll be in the 10th position. Back underway from Indianapolis, and it's the Russian-born driver sitting 1-2. Jackson Byes in 3rd, and the Minnesota native in the Fast 4.
You see Byes looking down low. He's going to make a move, and there's a bit of a gap between Collazo and Rush, 5th and 6th. You see that gap already built up. down low. Mubik not wasting any time.
Dovchenko on a different fuel map, letting those guys by, wants nothing to do with them. Matter of fact, check that. He's going to switch it quick. Looks for an aggressive move to the inside of Braden Mubik. Doesn't work out. Can Yaroslav Donskoy become the first Russian-born driver to lead a lap in an e-ticket event? He's less than 5/8 of a mile away.
He's got that gap, but the draft is so important. Bai's going to try and make up that time. He outlasted Mubik. Down into the pits goes Kevin Champagne. Bai's to the lead, entering into 1 and 2.
Bai's race leader. And the team owner, Lane Sanders, is back at home very excited that his drivers are sitting 1-2. But a driver that has been really critical of the two machines in front of him sits in third. A little deeper on, you see Gavin Austin and others. They are mostly holding in together. Jeff Perchatsky, Devins Baker, Riker Byram. This is deeper on, and you can see Devins Baker's TikTok 14 kind of in the way of some of these drivers that are in that go, go, go mode.
I want to see if Champagne maybe got a penalty or if he was actually pitting just on some off-brand strategy, and that's why he dove down to the pits.
It's a penalty drive-through.
All right, so that's going to put him back to 33rd, I believe, on the board. Bai's leading, lap 13 over Donskoy, Mubik in third. It is a Chevy trifecta leading this field. That second group has not caught them. Well, they have caught him, have not passed yet. Up front, Donskoy and Bai's.
Now here's some news you probably don't know because you probably don't see it. There was an issue with the adminning side right off the gun. We have our admin, that is Frank DeAngelis, that, yes, very critical as a driver to most viewers, but as an admin most love, as you see Bai's move to the bottom, they weren't drawing all cars. That's how he missed that wreck with Davis Lewis in turns 3 and 4. Because on his screen, all 43 drivers were not visible. And there goes Mubik. He's around in turn 2. One in the air and flipping. Hector Collazo. The caution will wave yet again. And a 30-ticket title will not come from Indianapolis.
John, this has been a nightmare year for Braden Mubik. We mentioned in the pre-race. Hasn't even got a top 10 this year. And he's already with major damage. 14 laps into this race, his shot of winning is toast.
Man, 14 laps in, you got 2 cautions. Wild, and look at the damage.
I mean, you can just look at that left front. He's actually both. I think he might be crab walking that thing down the straight. Oh, he can barely turn it. He almost hit the wall there.
And it will be done. Nightmare of 2025 for him, no doubt about it. Hector Collazo, I mean, just airborne in turn 2. Went flipping multiple times. You kind of saw the replay just there. We'll get a better look at it. But my goodness. 3 wrecks, 2 cautions. Dovchenko underneath came up. Oh, my. Dovchenko, if I'm not mistaken, the most recent open wheel winner in NR Night in America. Matter of fact, he won the Texas race.
That is not going to be any consolation for Mubik or Collazo.
And you know what? We get to go ahead and put a poll out. Who's to blame, right? Because the admins are kind of saying, hey, that 42 squeezed him.
That's not something you can do like in the stock car side of things.
From that view, it's hard to go ahead and see, right? You see 2 drivers get together, and Hector Collazo just manhandled up and into the air. Let's see from the TV view.
Oh, he's coming down.
He is coming down, yeah. Dovchenko coming inches coming up. The admins are saying if both drivers were to continue, it would have been on the 42. And I think that angle kind of sells it maybe a little bit more in that favor.
And watch, you see Lightning McQueen here, sent out into space. Look at Agabuezy down low and Caden Rush both avoiding this thing. Great wreck avoidance.
Unbelievable. How quickly things can change. And how quickly it did. Dale Greenwood, Yaroslav Donskoy, Jogman by Agabuezy. And the yellow flag is out. Greenwood, Donskoy, Drugman, and Buys as your top four. Louisi with Mosteller, Huff, and the lights won't come off. Man, this has been a chaotic start. And, you know, you kind of have that attest, right? These drivers don't have that extra 25 minutes of pre-race like they're used to. Some of these drivers are a little bit energized because of what's going on outside of the sim world. And we were in go mode in the drivers meeting. Go mode when the session came out. Go mode when the stream went live. And with all that, some guys just have not been able to stick with the guns, right? It's like when you're in that rush, you gotta go. You may make a mistake here or there.
So you want to hear the 42's finishes and all 5 e-tickets?
Let's hear it.
25th, 36th, 18th, 33rd, 32nd. This is third of 5 when it comes to best finishes for the 42 this year.
Wow.
Again, nightmare year for someone who's usually a favorite.
Dale Greenwood, Yaroslav Donskoy, get ready to lead us to green. Donskoy pulling to the inside. Is he giving up that position? I'm not sure if he is. No, just went ahead and checked some things, and we'll be getting ready to go once again. 17 laps in to this 200-lap event. Let's try it again from Indianapolis. 2 cautions so far early on here in the Indiana 500. We'll speak to other drivers when that time does come, but it's all Dale Greenwood, the California driver, seeing if he can lead the most laps and possibly get that $25 bonus. We're back underway.
It's one of the coolest things in motorsports, watching the snake down the front stretch of Indianapolis. Greenwood with about a 3-car length lead into 1 and into 2.
Donskoy, his teammate, is out. That being Dovzhenko. Drugman buys Louisi in 5th. Mosteller in 6th. They're all sitting single file, and I think when they saw those 2 incidents kind of occur, it was more of a, okay, let's now relax, right? Because a big hitter is now out. You have had now 2 of these, and let's think about getting to the finish. The way things are right now, it's still early, but if we went green the rest of the way, you're looking at a fuel lottery. Now, studies show there's a good chance we're not going green the rest of the way. I was about to say, it's 19 laps into this thing. Let's not count, our chickens before the eggs hatch here. Up front, Donskoy leading it over Greenwood. Van Drugman up there looking for his 3rd e-ticket in 4 starts. Good run for him so far. Gavin Austin there in 9th. Everett Couch. New scheme for him. The driver sitting in 10th. Lambombard in the 8th position. And Lambombard was not supposed to originally be in this race, and then he was signed up before other drivers that we were going to almost kind of save a spot for until they signed up. They never did, and I said, here's your shot. Go for it. Sitting 8th early on, and yes, 20 laps in, but you'd rather be up front at some point, and here he is in the top 10.
Yeah, solid showing so far in this race. First 10th of this race. Right behind him, Gavin Austin's made his way up again into the top 10. He's running the 9th spot, so far, so good. Pretty relaxed and chilled out towards the front. Not too many people jumping out, making some bonsai moves. There might be a battle for 3rd up there between Drugman and Bice. There is.
And Bice will move to the inside. You see Donskoy just doing the tail back and forth. This is the rhythm we're used to at Indy. You're watching the Indiana 500. Murphy, Joyner, Malone, Lewis out of the race. We'll continue to go ahead and watch who else is out. Colazzo, we saw him go up and over. He's sitting on pit road. Braden Mubbick as well in 35th on pit road. Chase Kroll, he's 2 laps down coming in, but still running on the racetrack. Max Swearigan in 34. So still a boatload of machines, more than you would see in the Indianapolis 500. Turning laps here at the racing capital of the world.
You're looking fourth, Bice. He's going up to the top of the racetrack, about a groove off the bottom where everyone else is running. He is going to be the mirror full behind Drugman for now. Makes the move into 1. Has him clear. Look at the 33 to 3rd.
Can he hold on, though, Van Drugman? Can he get number 3? I mean, I want to point out both of his e-ticket wins that he has captured. We didn't talk about him at all in pre-race.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk
about him on this one.
We didn't talk about him at all here, but we did talk about him a bunch before Alabama, and he didn't win that one. So maybe that's the key. Maybe the key is we just need to not say anything, and he'll do well. Running in that 4th position right ahead of Akabuizi, the favorite tonight, the guy who won this thing last year, and Mosteller following right behind him in 6th.
And Dale Greenwood, can that driver get it done? It would be the little team that could. And we were so excited when he led laps at Talladega. It just looked so foreign. We're not used to seeing him run up front. He hasn't won since 2021. We're talking 4 years since a victory. And here he is now in contention very, very early in this Indiana 500.
Doing a great job up towards the front of this pack, just holding his own. You're seeing a lot through this pack of just guys, I think, probably just getting on their strategy. Let's log laps. Let's not give the rest of the field a way to catch back up to us. There's 30 of them on the lead lap as we run. Big move there on the bottom.
That's Aiden Walker underneath counts.
Not going to make it work.
I just see Braden Mubbick get back on the racetrack. Yes,
It's
did.
alive.
How?
No idea. He's, 7 laps off the pace? 9 laps down in 36.
I mean, in theory, it's not done. How many times have we seen, look at where he's turning. I think he's just going to go turn some laps here at Indianapolis.
He just wants to pass a few people and then just say he didn't finish the worst that he's finished this year in an e-ticket, which would be where he's running, 36.
Donskoy to cover. You can't block both sides. I just think he found a way to do it. Bynes was on the outside. Greenwood could yield. And in the shoot of 1 and 2, it's all Yaroslav Donskoy. Let's get into the mechanics of this car. IndyCar has added to the hybrid side in 2025. The first Indianapolis 500 to have hybrid components will be this year. The update on that did not come on iRacing, so we're not worried about weight distribution. We're not worried about the intense tire wear that you may see in the 109th running next week. We're more focused on passing. Every time they go into turn 1, that turn is a quarter mile. On the other side of town in Indianapolis is a quarter mile called Anderson Speedway. You can put 4 Anderson Speedways just here in turn 1, just there in turn 2, 3, and 4, and that would count. On the straightaways, well, that's where it gets a little more interesting because then it's about, if I'm not mistaken, about 3/8. On the straight, it is all 5/8. 5/8 of a mile. You have an opportunity to make a pass heading into turn 3 before that deep dive in. Should not be lifting, but when you're in that tow and that turbulent air, the car gets erratic and just wants to get lost on you. We've seen the rear ends just slip on drivers before. So far tonight, the incidents have mainly been off of driver error with others around them or skimming the outside wall.
Well, John, I am going to bring up, Byes is the only one so far I've noticed that's been passing through this front of the field. And maybe it's because the others just playing it safe, playing it easy. But that 33 is the only one moving forward at any point of this run.
Yeah. Which is interesting to see because, remember, he got bumped last year, and the way he got bumped brought so much drama. The gun went off. He didn't get to start his time. He went on the track, still did a lap that was good enough to make the show.
That's right.
And then everyone's like, wait, he just did that. The session's still up. But the gun went off. The track was already supposed to be cold. And then he had to wait a full year until this year. We were going to have bump day. And due to technical size with work and everything we got going behind the scenes, we said 43 drivers are going to race in this event. Byes was not one of them until he won just about a week ago in NR Night in America.
Pretty good story. I mean, that might be a storyline we follow all the way to the finish.
And I like this one too, Zachary Truhl. You come to Indianapolis, who's the driver that everybody wants to get around? It's usually Pato O'Ward. Why do they do it? Well, because he's charming, he's with Arrow McLaren, but reality because he finished second twice. And then we got Zachary Truhl, who finished second in a monthly tournament. And ever since then, he became a fan favorite, and so many have been looking for him to find victory lane again.
Yes, he yielded the position, couldn't make the pass work there, but you notice what he did in 4? He went that lane up, got the run back down low. Almost a IndyCar version of diamonding the corner like you're in Martinsville.
Right. And the thing about Truhl is, yes, he still wins on the open wheel side. He won very recently. He was a talking point coming in. Everyone was excited to see if he can really muster up a charge and find the crown for New Jersey. He's a New Jersey native. He loves the Phillies, and that either just made you a huge fan of Zachary Truhl or quite the opposite. But nonetheless, here he is rolling around in the 12th position, knowing, hey, I'm going to say it again, it ain't over till it's over, including with 170 plus on the board.
No, it is not over till it's over in any way with these guys. And you're just, again, you're seeing guys maybe log some laps. I got to say, Gavin Austin's Wendy's machine, isn't that just like the weirdest, but also in a great way, weirdest looking car with that color scheme all over? It's like ribbons all over it.
Yeah, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, is for the Frosty meal, and he loves Wendy's, right? There was one time he added the SpongeBob overlay on the car, and it was mainly because of the Krabby Patty that was coming to Wendy's. Once he unveiled the Wendy's car with the number 22 about a couple years ago, everyone said, hey, that's your brand, stick with it. There's a couple times I think he's had Porta Subs on the car, but when you think Wendy's, you kind of think Gavin Austin. Now, if you're still getting used to him in the 2, it's might be almost that time where you get overly used to it, because he ran in the 22 for so long until Frank Horley took it over at the beginning of the year. Horley was expected to run full-time with that number, ended up not doing it due to complications. You saw Joseph Armstrong get into it, and now it's a good chance Gavin Austin either sticks with the 2 in 26 or goes to the 22. Well, the highest finish he's had in an e-ticket was not with Wendy's. It was with Old Spice.
Yeah, last event.
No, I'm wrong. I am very wrong. It was Wendy's. He put Wendy's on the side in the cursive that you would have Old Spice.
That's right.
Wow,
oh
that
gosh.
just got me. So he's just still found a way to put Wendy's on the car.
Hey, you know what? It's his brand. It worked. It's pretty darn good.
Up front.
Oh yeah, up front is Bice just all over Donskoy.
But mostly calm and tame, right? He's there. It's not like he's going for it. And this is what we kind of expected, where we could get our stories in. But yes, it's great where you can watch NR Night, and maybe you're just an e-ticket fan, right? You come here, you watch this, you'll watch NWP, you'll watch all these other e-tickets we do, and you'll go, oh, I know exactly who Gavin Austin is. I know exactly who Aiden Walker is. He drives the 93. Why is Joe West in the 1 car? Why is he not in some other scheme?
Why isn't Vila in the 1 car?
Oh, that's the big reason, because Vila signed up late. Matter of fact, 2 drivers were going to have that last spot to sign up. We said, Spencer, are you going to race? Spencer didn't respond. Vila signed up, and we said, well, your 1 is taken. He's like, okay, just put me in 11. That was it.
It worked out, though. He's in the race still. And from that point, once you're still in, you get through that attrition at the start, you can make your way up through the field, get that win. 23rd at the moment, right in front of Prochatsky.
There he is, Jeff Prochatsky now taking over the 5. Drew Jewish sideline due to complications. A Red Bull 11. There he is, working his way around this track. Greenwood, Drugman, Boise, and Daniel Mosteller. How about the driver sitting with the number 26 machine? That's Trevor Huff. A throwback to Lionheart, and that being the Dan Weldon tribute to his 2005 Indianapolis 500 win. Huff has his car geared up and ready to go to see if he can relive a time of past with the present of the day. Donskoy, race leader, yes, and well out of the groove, it's Jackson Mize.
Or is it?
Oh, is it?
No, it should be a lap machine, I believe.
We saw the glare of the car kind of grouped together, and it is a lap machine. Is that Jaden Hall? I think it is, the Virginia driver. who's now gone a lap down, or now multiple laps down in the 33rd position.
Yeah, only the top 30 on the lead lap. A couple guys a lap down, then a lot of them are already out of this thing.
Oh, man, we have just completely washed the field back. Lewis, Malone, Joyner, Murphy, Colonso, Movic, Krall now, and Zachary Trevino. They are out of the Indiana 500 with 36 laps now working on in. What are some of the challenges? I know we briefly touched on it. Lack of practice. So we'll kind of just talk about that quickly. In last year's Indiana 500, we were so worried about bringing stock car drivers to race on a track like this with a car like this.
Caution is out.
What was it for? Maybe Riker Byram? Yes, indeed. Look at the damage on the left front.
Texas' own might be out of this thing. Is that the Busch Red Apple?
It is. Busch Light Apple. I think the right rear of the 09 looks a little bit off. I'm not sure if that was just the way the view is. No, it's about right. And Riker Byram's right front is KO. Dovchenko, we thought he was supposed to be out of the race, and some said he should have been for the damage he had. And 2 laps down, he's not done yet. He's running. And damage on Riker Byram. West Texas will not be motorized with this event. Hard hit to the inside wall coming into turn 2.
Yeah, he already went around there. Let's see what happened if he just lost the handle or got into somebody or somebody got into him. We'll see here.
Closing the back half of the 29.
He just lost it.
Used to seeing him run with Whataburger, with Buc-ee's, and the interesting thing about Riker Byram, he's running this Busch Light Apple car because he is in love with Busch Light Apple. He started calling into different districts in Texas, into different states to see if they had it. As a matter of fact, he's invited me to go to Talladega this year, and he said, John, I'm going to say about 3 or 4 cases just ready to go.
I noticed it every single chat that we had with him in it. It was pictures upon pictures. I saw one day, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He got his beer. And then I was like, the next day, I'm like, oh, he really likes this beer. There's 2 cases in the car. And then the next day, I look in there, and there's 3 or 4 cases in the front seat, and I'm pretty sure he had more in the back seat. I'm like, he might have a problem. He really likes this beer.
He told me drink responsibly.
Yes.
The ones watching back home, but apparently it tastes just like apple juice. So
maybe I'll stop by a gas station on the way home and check. I don't know.
If they have it,
if they have it,
according to him, it's not in every region.
I don't know. If we're in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Busch drinkers.
Pretty sure. Pit road wide open. Yaroslav Donskoy will win the race up here, and this is an opportunity for us to go ahead and speak to guys. What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
I think we got a lot to go ahead and get to. We'll start with Hector Collazo. You got air. I think you could have cleared the catch vents with that air, Hector, but not the way you wanted this Indiana 500 to roll.
Yeah, man, from that height, I could have seen everyone on pit road that got wrecked earlier, so that was a beautiful view. So that was amazing. Could have seen the Indianapolis airport from there as well. I could have landed if I wanted to. Could have buttered a landing, but as well, yeah, unlucky. We had really good speed. I thought maybe could have got a top 5, but nope. People making dumb moves on lap 14 for no reason. So, just typical ways of how a race always starts. So it's always fun to get involved in stupid incidents that could have been resolved, just saving fuel. But nope, we got to make moves, make it interesting, and just wreck yourself. So yeah, fun to waste all that time just to get wrecked. And same thing for Braden Movic. I feel bad for him as well. He had really good pace and he gets wrecked out from a dumbass. So, just kind of fun, and decided to race maybe Chicago now.
Indeed. Hector Collazo, good luck with the rest of 2025. Not too happy there, but you can hear the emotion in his voice. Well, he said it was not Braden Movic's fault. So do we get ready and brace to see if we can go ahead and interview Braden Movic?
Oh yeah. Well, if he's in there, I want to hear what he has to say about that.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking for him. I don't really see him anywhere in the chat, so I don't think we can get it. Maybe quickly we can go for Zachary Truhl. Yes, indeed, Truhl. John Ramos, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, John?
Well, it was a lot of flat cannons, going off early on in the race. And you're still very much alive, coming to lap 40 for a restart. What's kind of the strategy call here with what you've seen and knowing at some point a long green flag run is destined to call?
Yeah, ready for a long green run. I had a couple close calls already that could have taken me out, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of guys seem to be riding around. I mean, the dirty airs, I see some guys struggling in that. So, honestly, I think a lot of guys are trying to take care of their equipment early on and, you know, try to save it for the end.
All right, you got a lot of racing left to go for you. I mean, New Jersey's been calling for an e-ticket for a while. What do you think?
I'm going to give it my best shot, John. You know that.
Indeed. Zachary Truel, optimism on all cylinders ahead of the restart here from Indianapolis. If you're going to win, you're going to have to beat Caden Rush. He's got Donskoy. He's got Mize and others to the restart zone. Back underway in the Indiana 500.
Fifth of the way through this race already, and Bice already in third. Bit of a gap. Donskoy a gap to Rush that's closing and closing quick. Does he make a move? Not yet. Looks high. Oh, he's there out of two.
Watch this dance. Here he comes down to the inside off turn 2. Rush will give the room. Donskoy wants to clear to turn 3, and he does so. Man has headed into this event on such a high note, elects to stay there. He has led the most laps up to this point, and Rush says, I'm not even going to attempt over 220 miles per hour. Hold on now, I think he's going to go for it once more.
At the line, it's gonna be Rush. Takes the lead, that is a lead change, and he's got it. Entering one, he's clear.
Every single year, every single event, you think of Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet as manufacturers to win an e-ticket. Just one other manufacturer has won the e-ticket title. That's not one of the big three, that being Dodge. Can Honda become the 5th manufacturer, and could it come from the likes of Rush to become a two-time e-ticket champion? The young gun abides. The optimism from the driver ahead of him in that 90. And Rush just thinks to himself, where's Buisi? He's in 5th. Where's Drugman? He's in 6th. Where's the drivers that have won on this stage before? They're behind. And now Rush wants to take the lead of 1.
Well, and you're seeing the aggression ramp up as these guys get further on into it. Buys earlier, though, a smart move. Did not force it 3 wide entering into turn 3. Now Rush looking back at Donskoy. Not for long. He's going to be looking beside him. Entering into 3 and 4, he might be looking ahead of him.
I think he is.
And he is. Donskoy leading in that Chevy over the Honda.
I think we accidentally had a replay there. Now we are back live. Rush underneath Donskoy, the fight for position. Dale Greenwood has Buisi, Van Drugman, Walker, Huff, Gavin Austin, Everett Couch. And you talked about, actually, no, you know who mentioned the fuel saving? Was that a Hector Collazo? Some of those guys kind of back there playing it safe. Where up front, it's all that hard nose running. It's a conga line, right? Up front, back and forth, inside, outside. Everyone else is kind of just following, right? Let's not damage the car. Let's get to lap 190. Only one way to win this event, and it's to have the shot coming off turn 4. For some of those drivers, they will have that shot. For others already, unfortunately not.
Down to the wall. It is going to be Rush taking the lead from Donskoy. A really brave move, that's for sure, but it gets him the lead.
2-2. Donskoy back to the outside. This is what we're going to see just all day long from the leaders.
Well, and that makes it interesting towards the end of this race when there are 2 or more drivers going for it. Who makes that move? Vice looking to make the move again. Doesn't make it. Up top goes Rush trying to get the run out of 4. Going to make it happen. He pulls away from the 33 up to the 90 right behind him. Making the move before the yard of bricks. Does he get the lead there? No, not yet. Into 1, the 10 is out front.
And I love this part of the race because leading in, drivers are like, oh, it's going to be tough to pass. There's barely going to be any passing in. One after another for the lead. Back and forth. This is what you see. This is what you're going to continue to see at Indianapolis. Buys, Rush, Donskoy buys the move to the bottom. Rush had a bail out of the throttle, but still gets across the bow and could take the race lead of the chute.
Donskoy missed his marks entering into 3 and 4, and that's going to lose him the lead. Buys behind him in third. Donskoy in the 90, looks down low again. 33 looking even lower, up the middle. Is it going to be 3 wide? Not yet. Donskoy takes the lead back.
It's the art of Indy, whether it's sim to reality. The top 3 under a bind. 4th, 5th, and 6th single file. At some point, this cannon's going to be let loose. The driver of the 4 with Akabuizi. He's sitting and waiting around Dale Greenwood. We know he has the car to go out there and pass. He just hasn't made that charge yet. Rush under Donskoy. It's going to be just this pattern of back and forth. But stick around because the heavy hitters await just outside the top 10, just barely in the top 10, with an opportunity with the sun setting.
Yeah, this is going to be musical chairs for the lead at this point. Buys, again, looking low. He might be able to make the pass this time. He's gonna. Rush goes high. 33 at Buys down low. But that 10 has a bit of position. He's got it.
Watching on the nose, now watching on the top of Dale Greenwood. He sits in 4th. What's the speeds like here? 230, 232 miles per hour before he had to let off. A little bit of a brake input as well. When you're in tow, things change compared to clean air. But for the top 3, I mean, it's like fighter jets in a dogfight just over the skies of the Hoosier State. Instead of on the skies, it's on the asphalt. And Rush, same strategy as last year. This
car to the wall! Car to the wall in the front, entering into 1.
And that's Le Bombard.
Huge contact, but now not getting anybody else involved in it. They stay green. I wonder what caused that. He just like went right down the track.
It's almost like the wheel just locked.
Maybe it disconnected or something. We'll have to look back. So he was looking, I believe, under Truel. I love you can hear them getting out of the throttle, even exiting the corner.
All right, let's see. Watch the wheel if something doesn't work. Oh yeah, something was a huge miss. I mean, he just lost complete power.
It could have been
still not in power.
It could have been maybe disconnected for a bit on his end.
It just takes a loose plug for the inputs to not register, and for that case, you saw it pretty much happen. He's not out of the race, right? That is fixable, but he's going to have to nurse it to the next caution, whether we get one or not.
Yeah, and that is an if for a while, because we are closing in now, this time by in the quarter mark of the Indiana 500. Down low into the pits, Caden Rush on a different strategy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the quarter mark of the race.
He thinks the storm is cleared.
I think so. He's gonna give up that spot. Some pretty good track position. Bice now in the 2nd spot. Greenwood 3rd. Akabuizi and Drugman your top 5.
Walker, Huff, Truel, Austin, Counts. You're looking at the battles a little bit deeper on into the field as they wash around. Chad Hornish, Kevin Champagne, James Bomar is there as well in the 11th position. He's in tow now with Everett Counts. Back to 3 and 4. It's starting to spice up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised with Rush coming to pit road that early. It could bring others along with him.
It could. We'll have to see. We'll see down the running order of this race. We'll see it changing and shuffling all day long due to this.
Now here he is now coming out. So he's a lap down.
A lap down or just ahead of the leaders?
Or should I say just ahead? It's soon to be a lap. Well, maybe not. He should be actually good to go. So on the lead lap, if a caution does come out, really no harm, no foul. You'll lose that track position for everyone else.
I mean,
thinking
if he stays ahead of Donskoy, stays in that lead position of the pack, if caution comes out and everybody else has to pit, he immediately goes to the front.
That is true. Think about the laps, kind of you have to circulate around before the green flag pit stops. So we have to start, it's about 30 to 35, depending on the fuel map. Now, we don't know what he's currently running. The only difference is he's out in clean air. He's having to use more fuel than everyone else. So if you look at Rush, there is a positive and then there's a negative to making this possibly work. It's just really a question of what he thinks is the positive and what he thinks are the negatives.
Now, they will get a big tow off of his car due to Well, him just being alone and them drafting their way on up. But Donskoy, how many laps has he led tonight? It feels like he's led the most by a wide margin so far.
That's Jackson Buys. That's 3. Donskoy 32. So he's got the most laps led currently on the leaderboard. Donskoy lined in, locked in, works his way back to the chute of 1 and 2, saying we're not leading now, but it's a long race. It's not to lap 54. It's not to lap 55. Couch, Austin, these are the RGR drivers going at it. James Bomar back there as well in 11th, with Daniel Mosteller sitting in 12th.
Yeah, a lot of heavy hitters just kind of buried in this pack so far. Long way to go. A lot of strategy, a lot of attrition, all of that still to go in this thing. But so far, clean and green as we enter into lap 54.
Indeed. And clear with how this race started, right? It was like, oh no, get ready, here we go. And now it being almost a completely different beast.
Same thing happened last year. Looking through this field, though, I mean, you're kind of seeing nobody is really losing the draft so much. We see Lombard that's falling back, but that's because of damage that he got. So altogether, these guys are pretty much keeping it even between each other.
Zachary Truhl sitting in 8th, Buys back the 2nd. This is the Indiana 500, and you're watching live on the IDK Player YouTube channel. 147 laps remaining in this event. It has been one fun night so far of racing, with the storylines coming in that we talked about. Now some going to the wayside, others still hopeful for a finish. Vega, Dog, Autosport. Whoever leads the most laps will go ahead and get a $25 bonus based off of their associate sponsorship. If you want to sponsor a future e-ticket event, the link to the email is below, where you can be a part of it. Some heavy hitters of drivers coming into future events, as well as some pretty big events coming up, like the NWP 400. Donskoy, I feel like I'm broken record here. Donskoy, Buys, and Greenwood, right? 1, 2, 3.
Look who they're behind, though.
There's Buisi. There's Jugman. Dale Greenwood. What a race. And look at this move to the inside.
But I think a lot of that, too, is they caught up to Rush in the 10. He is sort of holding them up a little bit after they got that draft off of him.
And I really don't think that Donskoy wanted to go around in a treacherous part of the racetrack. He pulls alongside down the back end of the speedway. It will have Buys pull in as well, but Greenwood to 3rd has Buisi back and forth. No swap for position, and I think this is an idea for Rush to get in line, because you'll still get the free pass if a caution comes out, but don't use all that fuel. You're on a strategy call to where you can't be using all that fuel. You don't want that clean air, but he's going to go for it anyways.
Maybe it's just that back and forth. He wants to have that lead lap position. Maybe it's just he's taking the runs where he gets them, practicing that for later in the race. Either way, he is going to keep himself barely on the lead lap for now. Donskoy looking low. Going to try and lap him all over again. None of these are passes for the lead, but still consequential.
I just don't know if I like what Rush is doing here, right? You got the opportunity of a lifetime to get in line, go to maybe a fuel map 4. Okay, be conservative, maybe a fuel map 3, right? And save. You get toe-to-toe with Donskoy, you're clearly still on fuel map 1. You're getting out in clean air. You're using a lot of fuel, unless you believe that the strategy is still destined to be that good. If you're still in the belief of, you know, when the checkered flag waves and we go green the rest of the way, that you have the best shot at going to victory lane because of your strategy, then great. But at least if you were back at home, I question this side-by-side action with a driver that's not even for position.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I want to see how it plays out fully before I fully give an opinion one way or another, because maybe this is just sort of on the brand that he wants to be. Back and forth and get ahead one way or another. Draft where you can and just take the runs where you get them.
Top 18, left side of your screen, the sights and sounds of the Speedway here in Indianapolis. We saw a couple blinks out of Rush that has been monitored by the admins back at home. Deeper in the field, things get really interesting. I went to Indianapolis yesterday, and one of the best things I was told was, here's pit road, there's 1,000 stories, go find them, right? Mm-hmm. Here in the sim, here's 43 drivers, 1,000 stories, go find them. And I think the best one is Jeff Perchatsky. Deeper in the field, yes, he's running, what is it, 23rd? just got into the outside wall. Matter of fact, Jeff, come on. You're live on YouTube right now. Let's not go ahead and make a fool of yourself. Jeff, UCLA graduate. His first e-ticket was the Tailgate 400, running the UCLA colors. Went to NASA to work with an internship that in Huntsville, Alabama. And then after that, where did he go to work? Honda. Is it like a Honda dealership down the road? No, Honda Racing. Oh, that's right. He dynoed the Alex Palou engine that went to Victory Lane in Birmingham.
How about that?
So, Sim to Reality is on full force. With us doing this for so long, we have drivers that work in ARCA, that work with the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, IndyCar, engineers for NASA. Now, on the motorsports side, now I'm not going to go full into detail really what he fully does, out of more of just the personal space, but you just never know who you're watching. It's not some Joe Schmo sitting back at home, ready for the weekend to come on. Some of these guys, they take their creativity from what you see on the sim and apply it to reality.
And sometimes apply it very well by the sounds of it. And again, this is something every ticket event has its own identity, its own just feel, its own set of characters that are different one to the other, and we're seeing it on full display tonight. I think Prochaska might have gotten the wall again.
He's struggling, and he is running a Honda. I think he needs to go fix his car.
Yeah.
Hall, Devins Baker, Dolchenko still on the racetrack back there in the 28th position. And then there is Caden Rush, still that back and forth, and it still has my head scratching with the 139 to go. Does this do anything for you?
I don't know what it would, honestly, but he's also been up front and was up front at the end of last year, so
that is true.
I'm going to trust his judgment for now if he proves us wrong. Set down low, is that Mosteller now up into the top 10?
It is, and that is in his gold scheme after he won his third e-ticket event. Actually, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I said, if you win a third e-ticket, I think you got to run a gold scheme, and finally when he did, he won it. We celebrated. We were like, yes, finally we get to stop speaking on who can get to 3. And then he shows me a scheme, and I'm like, that's right, the gold scheme for getting to 3. And who knows, maybe if Mubik one day gets to 3, Van Drugman gets to 3, maybe they have to run a gold scheme in the future. Maybe it's a new tradition.
I'd be cool with that. I mean, it's such a huge milestone to hit in this community. We have not seen anyone until this point, 29 in, do that. It's pretty impressive.
Trevor Hoff is 26. With Aiden Walker in 93. Aiden Walker, he races mostly on the short track side, whether it's in Kingsport, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. But recently he has kind of developed more to be an IndyCar specialist on the open wheel side. And it's really worked out in his favor. We'll go stock car racing. You'll see Walker in the top 10, top 15. But then when we go open wheel racing out of Texas, we go open wheel racing out of Gateway or Richmond, you'll see him top 5 or contending for the race lead. 6, not too shabby, right? Including with the 5 drivers ahead of you. Yeah, a couple underdogs, but the regulars you kind of expect to see doing great business at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think Aiden Walker is going to be the real sleeper as we work 136 laps to go.
Yeah, very much so. As we run this thing, you're seeing it get racy as more guys are either pushing it or are going past a lot of the lap guys too. And so you're seeing these 3-4 wides. You're seeing guys make up a lot of positions, and you're seeing guys in some pretty precarious situations.
Don scoring. Van Drugman. We didn't expect Van Drugman to be a road course driver. We didn't expect Van Drugman to be a Darlington driver. What does Van Drugman do outside of racing? He races with Aiden Walker in the Legends division at the quarter mile at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. He was supposed to race a couple weeks ago and the quarter mile got rained out. You're telling me, jack of all trades?
Hey, that real life experience coming in pretty clutch so far. 5th position already. 135 to go. We're closing in on that halfway point.
We are, and Kevin Champagne has now quickly reclimbed the ladder after his incident very early in the race. He got a drive-through penalty for it. He's now lined in with Everett Counts, this being outside the top 10. Kevin Champagne, he's digged the hole before and he's gone out of it before. The only thing is, the drivers ahead of him are pretty prestigious, pretty masterful, with Beaumont, Mosteller, and others now running single file just ahead of him. Trevor Huff, another underdog up there, you know, he's caution. And it may be for Christian Delgado, he's into the outside wall.
Oh, another upside down.
That's Joe West.
It's like a turtle stuck on its back.
Doesn't make too many starts with NR Night in America. Really, the e-ticket side, it's the open wheels that more or less come to his wheelhouse. Another open wheel specialist biting the dust.
Yeah. But again, we knew this was going to start happening as these runs get further in, and he's just too close.
He got into Delgado and just snapped back on him. Eladon Contreras. An incident as well. 3 drivers all kind of collected. The Jacksonville driver loops it on over. Now, recently a Disney adult as well. That's just kind of random to say, but he, recently just really got into Disney. Him and his family. He went to Epic Universe a couple weeks ago.
John, based on our telemetry on our end, I don't want to cut you short there, but it looks like Hayden Rush was off of the lead lap when the caution came out.
Man. Wow.
We'll have to see if the scoring is right or not.
And we will have to look for him. Rush sitting in the 25th position.
So he'll have to restart in the back when he gets his lap back.
Pit road is open.
Instead of him being able to cycle back with the rest of them. I question.
You do get the waiver on here. Do you come to pit road?
I mean, yeah, you probably do, I would think, unless it's differing your strategy on it. But I am curious because his strategy is so far off what everybody else's is.
So he will get that lucky dog. He will go around. Luigi, Walker, Mosteller, they're all in. Let's go ahead and chime in with some drivers. And the incident that does take some of these drivers for a loop. Joe West, we saw him get in the back end of Christian Delgado. West, John Ramos, you got a copy?
Hello.
Wow, you seem very calm for going up and over.
I feel good, man. Just, bro hit the brakes in front of me.
Oh, no. Repairable, I'm most likely guessing not.
Probably not. I'm still towing.
Okay. Well, unfortunate.
I was making moves. I gained like 10 spots under that run.
Very unfortunate for Joe West. Hate to hear. And that's how it, when he said it braked, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to maybe go speak with Christian Delgado if he's kind of back in here. No, Delgado is now left. Emotions running pretty high, so let's go ahead and change the trajectory and interview Dale Greenwood. Greenwood, John Ramos, what an e-ticket you've been having.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, quickly we go from very sad drivers involved in an incident, and then, man, you gotta be just enjoying yourself right now.
Oh, I'm having a great time. Yeah, played the strategy right on that. The second caution, I think we ran like 3 laps and everybody pit. I was kind of surprised I was the only one that stayed out, but track position is really important in this kind of a race where it goes green and caution, goes green and then caution. So just gotta stay up here and be there at the end.
All right, 131 laps to go. The strategy works out. Last time you went to victory lane, Dale, I mean, long ago. You know, it's been so long.
Yeah.
We're talking
I'm hungry,
June,
man.
June 2021?
I was later than that.
We started in May of 21, but I mean, you won very early. Like, you were one of the first couple winners.
I won like a couple times early and I haven't won since then. Yeah, it's great.
Like, you won so far long ago, it could be in some of the future history books, you know? I mean,
oh yes. I'd be on the first page.
Yeah, that's right. You learned it in the first semester, like the 11th grade. Dale Greenwood, his one win in NR Night in America. So here you are, running in fourth. You know that the drought has been oh so long. Do you keep that in the back of your mind, or are you kind of just running your own race?
I just run my own races. I don't think about that. I don't think about winning until like the last, 30 laps, even year I wrecked out probably about this time anyway. So I just got to get past this point, stay in my rhythm, keep racing up front with these guys, saving fuel.
The Oakland driver from the Bay Area. Big shot at winning. Dale Greenwood ready to roll. He's going to come off fourth. Field sizes back up. Single file, inches off the outside retaining wall. Let's try it again. Donskoy, Buys, and others back on the throttle. 130 laps to go from Indianapolis.
You're seeing that gap. Akabuizi now up into the third spot behind Donskoy and Buys. John, we didn't have Donskoy up there all night in our predictions or anything. He is doing a heck of a job keeping that lead. Has it off a 2. Buys getting a bit of a run. Does he make the move?
He does not. I'm just kind of baffled, right? Looking at this top 3. Okay, yeah. Buizy, he won it last year. We all know that. You can talk about it for the next 130 laps, near 129. Buys, once again bumped. Buys doesn't have the best track record in the community. You know, on the oval side, on the stock car side, Donskoy, same exact group. Donskoy is an IndyCar specialist, an open wheel specialist. On the stock car side, you don't see him overextended. He has now led the most laps in this event. And then here comes a driver that did it last year as the specialist in Buizy.
Yeah, and he's just chilling, basically. I mean, he's been sitting in that third spot, just letting it all go. And you see up on the high side, what a move. Is that Huff making it by Bomar or vice versa?
Bomar on the outside with Huff on the bottom.
Yeah, it is. And what a great move.
It's going to work. Deeper on, Zachary Trull kind of just buying his time. The driver of the number 28 sitting in the 10th position. Shaver, Hornish. As we're also keeping updates on some things, what's maybe going on the weather side?
Well, looks like we're about to be under a tornado watch.
Really?
Coming soon, yeah.
We'll put those updates out as we go. Once again, if you're just coming on in, let's go back over the weather protocol we have for these e-tickets. Now, we're actually set the first day the studio moved to Nashville, Tennessee. We're under a watch. We watch.
Yep.
We're under a warning. Caution is out. I'm not going to say what I said earlier, the driver's meeting.
We're going to take cover.
We're going to take
cover. But they make it to halfway, which we're 27 laps away. This race is official tonight.
Yep.
Whoever is the leader, if the stream goes out or anything else, that's your winner. So that's kind of part of it too. You don't know. Are you racing all the way to the end?
I was about to ask you that as a driver. What do you think? I mean, you're going to be watching the stream now.
Patience. If you're up front, you got to have patience. You have to make sure we're about to be under. We're not fully under yet. We're about to be under. We're getting there. But you have to watch. You have to make sure that you are just in position in case something happens.
Single file, a little bit of moves deeper on in the pack. To the outside, Bomar. This should be on Van Drugman's 21. Mos, a quick move to the inside as well.
Does he have the position to get it? Oh, crash! Big crash in the back.
Ever accounts. All torn up on both ends of his machine. Derek Shaver as well. Who else got a piece of it? Abraham Vila, the lone Red Bull.
You just keep seeing more and more just get knocked out each of these little runs.
And more drivers fall to the wayside before the halfway point of the race.
So you're 75 laps into this thing. It's official in 25, 125 to go in regulation in the full race. Now this middle part, it might be just patience and survival. I mean, you're seeing, another one there up at the top with tons of damage as they go by.
There's the damage on counts. He is now on pit road.
There's another, I think, that has damage too.
Oh, well, there's huge air from the 29. We're hearing maybe he did hit the wall on the straightaway.
Well, we'll see. Looked like he did at the end of this straight entering 3.
Lots of 77, Sean Rowe just in front of him. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Him and Davis Lewis did the exact same thing.
And we've seen this happen over and over again in this race and testing. Somebody else just gets onto the brakes too early compared to how the guy ahead or behind them is doing, and it just sparks off another one of these crashes.
There's the damage on Abraham Velo. Jackson buys Caden Rush, Boise, Walker, Mosteller, and Kevin Champagne have now all come to pit road, and it's a race of attrition. That's what we're seeing this kind of turn into.
Yeah, we are. Did Rush stay out? Top 3 or 4, give or take, might have stayed out.
Yeah, he did. Caden Rush staying out.
You're seeing the shuffle of these strategies.
Let's go speak with Daniel Mosteller. John Ramos, you got a copy?
Hi.
Okay, the attrition is set in. A couple of your friends, a couple of your allies have bit the dust and has not ended the way they've wanted. But for you, you're going for it. You're going for the win, the Big 4, the gold scheme. You're in 10th. How on earth are you just being that consistent and smart as this race continues to be uncertain?
Yeah, man, I'm just chilling and I'm letting the race come to me. Everyone's being, I feel like, over-aggressive, and I'm just kind of taking it easy and not forcing anything that possibly in my race. And, so far, it's working. I don't think I'm the fastest, but I have a couple of tricks on my sleeve to possibly get towards the front. Gotta wait towards the end of the race to show up.
And that is what we're talking about. Okay, different strategies coming in. Is there a ballpark maybe for an opportunity, or do you think more cautions are going to fly in an area that you don't have to consider it?
I think we're going to have some more yellows in the stage of breaks. Hopefully when we get to halfway, we'll calm down and get some green flag racing in, which is what I hope, because when we get green flag racing, green flag pit stops, a lot of problems. We get things going. It's got to get over the
All right. Wow. A lot of racing still left to go. You're over the halfway mark of this race, and we will get ready to see. That's Daniel Mosteller in the number 87 with a lot of racing still left to go. Lined up, loaded up. We'll get ready for a restart. Caden Rush, he's there with the 609 guys, and we get to finally speak with him. Rush, what's the strategy call here? We saw you come to pit road early, and what kind of games are you playing?
I've just gotta get track position. I think track position is the name of the game right now. I think Yaroslav and Jackson think the same here. Same thing here. It's just all about track position. You've really just got to make sure that you either have the clean air or you have the chance to swap. I think if you're back there in the back of the field, it's just gonna be really rough. Even saving fuel back there is really rough because you have to keep so much throttle in it. It's plowing tight back there. So purely just thinking clean air here. I've got a good amount left in the tank too, so it's going to match up pretty closely with what I want my strategy to be. So I'm thinking we'll be good here for the end of the race, but obviously we've got 122 laps to play out. So
spoken like a former champion. Good luck there. Let's ride. Pace car, hard left on the pit road. It seems to me, Jarrett, the ones up front, they know the game plan, they know the strategy. The ones in the back, they're just walking on eggshells, and that's where they start running into each other. It's very clear who has the concise chance of finding victory lane.
Yeah, these top guys did their homework, and you can tell they're getting A+ so far in this race. Donskoy and Weiss run away from the field. Huge gap back to Rush. Looks like that 33 is going to stay in line, at least for the moment.
Hayden Walker's in 4th. Van Drugman's in 5th. James Bomar is back to 6th with Trevor Huff and Akaboise, the top 8. Greenwood and Greenwood and Mosteller make up that top 10. Yarrow has had the hardware held his way most of this race. But remember Rush and what he said track position-wise, could it mean something? He's going to go for it. 1, 2, yes sir, as he finds his way to the top of the board.
What a move by that 10. The track position that he was talking about, he has it now.
Man, hit the afterburners and said, let's go.
Hold on, though. Donskoy says, wait for me. I need that lead right back. Down into 3. Has it.
Donskoy the leader. And we saw the best two go at it last year. The best two drivers, the best two cars. They fought tooth and nail. That was Boise. That was Rush. That was Honda. That was Chevrolet. This top two, I still think Oleon is the best top two, and it is Honda, and it is Chevrolet.
Nobody else has really made that move to get ahead of them. You're seeing more side-by-side behind them, but nothing between the front two or behind the front two has gotten between them.
Can they do it? Become the 5th manufacturer to win an e-ticket, and here comes Zayden Walker. Walker under buys.
He might have something to say about it. Here comes Bomar right with him. He's been making moves. And you're seeing more and more of this option to go up to a second or third line, get a big run, make the drafting move, and take the lead.
Buys underneath as well. Multiple drivers now going for positions that are sitting ahead of them before single file to the short chute.
The aggression has been turned up to 11. It's like they heard what we were talking about earlier about the uncertainty of this race, and it is just a back and forth like the start of it. Buys trying to follow right behind. He might have position. Side by side out of the corner, he stays with him.
Man, I don't know how he held on to it in turn 3. I thought for sure he was going to wash up into that 10.
And he'll get the draft off of Donskoy. Rush getting the draft. He's giving the draft to everybody else behind him. That 33 of Bice to second place.
Hey, it's racy. Here comes Bomar. Here comes Huff. Drugman's back the 7th, and the pounce is on for Sean Rowe, who now cracks into the Sweet 11. Everybody on the move and on the charge down the backstretch.
And you're seeing this battle for second. It's the longest we've seen. Two cars stay side by side. Eventually has to relent. Up top goes Bice, looking for the lead this time.
And he got it. Jackson buys to the outside of turn 4. Donskoy takes advantage on the bottom.
Big run. Now he goes to the high side again. Side by side for first and third. 4 cars under a blanket. 3 wide past the Art of Bricks.
Now someone's got to bail before it doesn't work out. Into the shadows, into the sun. James Bomar, top of the board at turn 2.
What a move from 4th to 1st in one move.
Now can he hold on? We say it all the time, PBR.
Nope. Here comes Donskoy down to the bottom, making the move again. He takes the lead back.
You know, Lane Sanders has never won an e-ticket, but he has a shot today to do it as a team owner. Controller Bros Racing, that name came about because Sanders started his iRacing career using a controller. Donskoy's on a wheel, same with Buys, but oh boy would it be for the owner watching back in Huntsville, Alabama to celebrate as the driver races halfway across the world.
Well, and welcome Huff into this battle in 5th, trying to make the move on Rush. He is starting to make his presence known ahead of Walker.
And honestly, we thought if James Bomar is going to win an e-ticket, it's going to come from a super speedway. It wouldn't come in the forms and the likes of open wheel. But here he is, running up inside the top 4.
First or second, depending on what part of the track he's at, side by side behind them. For the 3rd spot, that's Rush and Bice fighting for it again. Rush prevails there. Huff tries to follow.
Top 18 shown left side of your screen. That is how they do it on the NTT IndyCar side. On your screen, the sim racing world coming to life from the racing capital of the world. Rush in 3rd, behind it got dicey, and that was Buys and Walker.
Yeah, and that's going to bring Drugman and Akabuizi right up into this fight with Rowe following behind. Haven't called his name all night.
115 laps to go, and I think we've awoken a sleeping giant. Early on, incidents here, incidents there, drivers kind of just riding around, holding on to the car that they have, and then with less than coming to halfway, it has turned up a notch. Look at this. Rush to the bottom, 3 wide.
And he's gonna make it work. He has the nose out front, not for long. Bomar with the run up top.
And he's just gotta hold it there, right? Can you draw even?
Wow, I mean the moves and the aggression, and that comes from Donskoy this time down low. Rush has to relent. Donskoy looking for the lead. He takes it.
Man, Huff had a bail out of the throttle there in fourth. Buys back to fifth. Aiden Walker sitting in sixth.
How about Greenwood, too? He's in the top 10. Just chilling in the back behind this battle as now Rush takes it 3 wide. We might have a 3 wide finish tonight at this rate.
Bailing out goes Donskoy. Huff on the pedal. Doing anything and everything to keep the driver at bay, but you can't block like a stock car. You got to finesse like you're in an open wheel, and that's exactly what he is doing in this moment.
To the lead. Again, Donskoy has it. Bomar, though, up top. That top line is getting hooked up as the race goes on.
And this is what it's like, riding on top of what Rush would be seeing.
3 wide again.
He just does not want to give it up.
Well, can you blame him? Track position is so important in this race. You got to make those moves. Bice, who was fighting up there just a few laps ago, has fallen all the way back to the 7th spot.
Lowest is 28th, highest is 1st. How does that compare to maybe the driver that's currently leading? Donskoy has yet to crack outside the top 10.
No, he has been rock solid in this race. Led, I would assume, over 50 laps this far in already. And leads again.
3 wide again? I think so. Rush underneath Bomar. 4 wide and holds your breath. Man, Huff thought about it.
And we're only approaching that halfway point. You'd think that they would maybe be a little smarter or a little less aggressive is probably the better word for it, but they're putting that aggression all the way to 11 with 111 to go.
Yeah, 28, 27 cars still left rolling, and yes, with the incidents we had earlier in this event, you question how many were left rolling around the track. It's still either on par or a little bit better than last year's Indiana 500 with cars remaining. Why is that? Last year's incidents and cautions collected more cars.
Yeah, they've done a great job of staying out of any incidents so far through this night. Up front, Rush now takes that lead away. Bomar second, Donskoy back to third.
And they continue to shuffle. They continue to change. 1 second it's Rush, 1 second it's Bomar, then it's Donskoy. 5/8 of a mile you have of a bounce stretch, and oh boy, do they use it to the advantage. Bomar can hold on. Donskoy is there. Rush to the outside. The trading blows back and forth can work until you realize Aiden Walker's on the scene. And all the drivers sitting behind. Top 8 separated by just a second.
And it is a heck of a battle up there. Bomar going to keep the lead into 1 this time by. Keeps it right up towards the front. Rush is going to try and hook up that high side. Nothing for him yet.
Inside move on the 20. And Caden Rush will regain the lead. It would sound like a broken record, but that's Indy. And this is how things go. I'm very happy to see Trevor Huff on the scene. Lionheart as a paint scheme. Maybe he can be an underdog win. Whether you watch open wheel racing often, the NTT IndyCar series, or just, you know, the Indianapolis 500, you know about heartbreak, right? You know about the Dan Weldon story and how he won in 05, but he also won in 11 because of J.R. Hildebrand's wreck off turn 4. Trevor Huff, 26. I mean, from what I remember watching the 2011 race, nobody was talking about Weldon with the last couple of laps. Everybody was talking about Hildebrand today. We talk about Rush skimming the grass and possibly a favorite.
And that was a heck of a move by him. You're seeing that aggression be put on full display all the way. You saw the dirt marks on the racetrack. Here we go again.
How much do you want to thread that needle?
Yes, that is their answer. Yes, I do. And they are threading the needle left and right. I'm waiting for the point that we go 4 wide.
Oh, you know it's coming.
We do. I mean, 107 to go. There's plenty of time for that to materialize.
Let's go ahead and read down that top 18. Jeff Perchatsky, Max Steinmeier, Chad Hornich, Brad Gutierrez with Kevin Champagne, Gavin Austin, Zachary Trull, Daniel Mosto. Top 10 goes Dale Greenwood, Akaboezy, Sean Rowe, Van Drugman, and Aiden Walker with 6 on back. Jackson Byes, Jaroslav Donskoy, Trevor Huff with Caden Rush, all chasing the James Beaumont 20.
Not for long. It looks like that 26 is making his move. Might not have it this time, but he is really starting to flex his muscle.
How quickly at that. I mean, just whatever they can do, whatever they can just gain. Look at this move by Rush to the outside. And I love the aggression, right? You're watching back at home, it's great. What happens when you make that one misstep?
We all go up in smoke. That's what happens.
And it's already happened today, right? Oh, I'm going to go inches off the wall. In reality, I hit the wall. Oh, I'm going to make this move on a driver, and I clip my left front wing, and next thing you know, every suspension arm, everything that we worked on for the last couple of weeks in the month of May is gone to the wayside.
But at this point, these are a lot better handling cars as well up towards the front, and drivers that are more sure of themselves, and they're making it work. They are surely fighting for this lead. Every single inch of this racetrack has been used. Donskoy not going to make the move down low, going to arc it in, while Bomar has to concede the lead to Rush.
Caden Rush, race leader, Jaroslav Donskoy in third, Huff and Byes, top 5, Walker, Drugman, Sean Rowe, Hamilton, Akaboezy, and Dale Greenwood now make up that top 10. You're watching the Indiana 500 live on the IDK Player YouTube channel, and it is rush hour well up inside that top 5 with a lot of racing still left to go. We talked a little bit about strategy, we talked a little bit about tire wear, and we're in the long green flag run mode where you start questioning and wondering, hey, when do you come to pit road?
Wait till the wreck. Because somebody always manages to at the end of these runs. It's been happening every green flag run we've had, but it looks like we have a bit of a breakaway with this lead pack now. There is a big lead pack still, yes, but looks like it's smaller than it was earlier.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers that have not been able to hold on have dropped on back, and you can kind of see it. Yes, this is the top 18 left side of your screen, and if we're going to see things just outside, yeah, Le Bombard with Xander McKinney, Eladon Contreras, they're kind of in no man's land. This is 23rd, this is 24, Jaden Hall kind of just scattered around, while the main group of individuals,
all 18,
all up in the 18, they're up front.
And they're doing a marvelous job of not wrecking, because the aggression has been dialed up so much, but they're just matching it each time. Another big 3-wide move for Donskoy. Bomar will lead the lap. Donskoy might lead the corner.
I just worry what happens when they go 4. You touched on it a couple laps ago. Someone is going to do it. Whether it's now, whether it's the next time they're on the back stretch or the front stretch, or with 2 laps to go, that bold, rigorous move is going to kind of materialize, and you just don't know really when it's going to happen. And that's what makes you worried, right? It's an impending storm that's looming. You know it's heading your way. Just when will someone make a mistake?
Almost did there with Donskoy. Thinks better of it. Backs it off. Bomar says, nope, I'm going for the lead. He goes for it. Down low is Huff going for third. Following him, Bomar leads the lap.
And just barely.
And you're seeing the moves too, John, be made later and later. Huff trying for the lead right as they enter into turn 1. Doesn't make it happen, but you're seeing that aggression of how late into the corner that they make the move. Just dial up.
Huff in third, Rush in second. Oh, Huff nearly got thrown in the grass. Great save by him. Rush thinks nothing of it as he powers to the lead.
And now you got Rush with Bomar a lane up from him. They're using the entire racetrack nearly into the wall. Still, Rush has the lead, coming to the line halfway in this race. This race is official.
And here comes Donskoy trying to make something work. He's back in the 4th position. Man, it's a dogfight over the Hoosier State. Second time I've said it, but the G's being pulled are wild. Let's dance again. Bomar and Russ for second behind Huff.
You can only do it for so long before someone makes that move. 4 wide, nearly entering the corner. Rush down low has the position. Bomar with the run up top. It's going to be Caden Rush taking the lead.
I think Aiden Walker and Van Drugman are thinking about, hey, let's get to the bomb shelter, because this top 4 at some point are going to make contact. rushes on pit road. He joins in as well with James Bomar, and they were going to bite on in just when he expected it.
They went down into that bomb shelter with the lead for the moment. Donskoy and Huff battle on with Bice now joining him. He's made his way back up.
All right, still 3 drivers under a bubble. What can they do? It's Huff, it's Donskoy, and it's Bice. Huff nearly in the wall. We've seen that a time or two on the straights. Aiden Walker goes to 4th, and everyone now wondering who makes the mad dash to pit road because it's about to be on.
Well, we'll see. That pack of 16, the leaders down under the bottom. Donskoy goes with Bice.
2 teammates coming together. They're in with no contact.
And that is going to give the lead to Huff, Walker in second, Drugman, Akabuizi, and Sean Rowe now in the top 5.
That Lotus throwback has been very iconic for Aiden Walker's had this scheme for multiple years. It's never gone to victory lane in an e-ticket. It's never been in position 2 till this year. Position granted, he's top of the board at turn 3.
Well, we saw part of this last year. If they can get through a pit cycle, that's what separates out the field. That is what's going to, I think, give you the long green run.
Tornado watch officially in our area. So as we mentioned before, we're going to watch. But that information now being relayed to the drivers. If we're under a warning, we're throwing the caution. Want to make that very clear. The tweet has gone out. It has been updated to everyone in the Discord. We are officially under a tornado watch, but still green in the Indiana 500.
And 97 laps remaining is going to be Walker to the lead past Huff. Has about 2-3 car lengths. That's all it takes for now. There's Drugman we follow in 3rd, trying to get his next one. All the guys that pitted, they're all ahead of this group.
Now, I'm surprised they haven't come to pit road. You start looking and saying, okay, you know, pit road's got to be coming soon, right? They got to be coming in and servicing their car. Why are they waiting so long? What's the strategy? And with these machines, you can put it the fuel map, the weight jacker. You can run in tow. You can run in clean air. And I think at this point, you don't want to be in clean air. You want to be in tow. You want to be saving fuel if possible. And with 96 laps to go, if I'm Aiden Walker, I'm happy I led some laps. Now let's get back in line if we're trying to play a different call than the drivers that were just, at one point, 4 positions ahead of you.
Well, now you have to wonder. You had 4 of those leaders pit. The lead group is now 14 as Huff goes for the lead again. When do these 14 pit? Because the other ones now are making up time. Bomar 37 seconds back, which is roughly 4 to 5 seconds away from being lapped. You see that whole group ahead of this one.
And you can see it's very calm. For us, we're watching that cell that we're under a watch for. And for some drivers, we just found out through a group chat, they also have the Doppler radar up and kind of just watching and waiting to see maybe when to strike. Yes, for us, it's a little scary, right? Okay, here we go again. Come on, Jared. We've been a part of it.
Yeah, we've been a part of it.
But kind of unique. I would say in a way they're having to watch weather in our area to see when to be aggressive, when to come to pit road, maybe when to stay out. And you know who knows this weather better than anybody? Aiden Walker.
Yes.
Huge weather nerd. That's what he calls himself. He has been able to track radars like crazy, and he's probably telling himself, if they have to go under caution, when do I need to come to pit road so I can be out in front on that next restart?
Well, doing the math right now, this race, if it goes green, can go pretty far, but the storms that are tornado producing out there could get here around the finish.
Really?
Could.
Okay.
Could, depending on if there's cautions and how long it goes. The longer the race goes, the better chance of that. And you got to remember, we do not have overtime in this race, so if a caution comes out towards the end, that could be it.
And that's the big thing, right? Do we red flag? Do we not red flag? And let's say with 10 to go, we said we're going to put it under caution, kind of let them pace. If we do that, the race is going to end under caution. If we red flag it and then we lose power, the race in theory still ends under caution. So you kind of have to dial that in. We have had races in NR Night in America end due to rain. We purposely put rain in the session for it to be rain shortened. we've never had to deal with it on the in-person side. So for Huff and Walker, yes, a new variable to diagnose to see if you can be immortalized.
Yes, and you know what? That's what makes these the best events in iRacing. It's what makes these guys the best drivers, because they are always able to parlay that into success one way or another. Up front, there's Huff going right past Walker. Huff to the lead. 92 coming on 91 to go.
And there we go. Easy in, easy out. Sean Rowe back to 8th. Greenwood back in 7th. Oh, here they come.
2 more dive down. And now what's going to be interesting, if we can watch them, how do they cycle out compared to the others that pit before? Because that main pack actually was making up time on them.
Here's Bomar, Buys, Donskoy, and Rush. All 4 of them kind of just in single file formation. There's the group behind Van Drugman. Another e-ticket where he leads laps, and I believe this could be the 3rd one. In just 5 e-ticket starts, he's led in 3. Unbelievable stuff for him, but he's got the defending winner of this race just behind him as they'll get ready to possibly tail back to pit road.
Let's see, where does Huff and Walker come out? There's another one pitting back there in the back of the pack. That's Contreras.
It is. Steinmeier staying out.
Hey, let's look.
Coming in.
Look at where the interval with Huff. Bomar is going to go past Huff. Now another second to Walker.
There they are. He's going to get swallowed up pretty quickly. I mean, there's just not enough speed being generated out of that 93.
But how much can you kind of hold up? How many can you? Because if you can hopscotch your way up past a couple of them through some fuel strategy, gives you better track position, more peeling off into the pits.
Chad Hornish, one of them. Kevin Champagne, he's been awfully quiet since the incident earlier in the race. Champagne now in 10th. Boise, Van Drugman, Aiden Walker. Walker out towards the back half of the field now, so Mosteller, Sean Rowe, and Zachary Truel make up that top 5.
Going just that little bit further on fuel, depending on how the strategies work out, that could get you maybe just that much further. A stop less maybe by the end of the night. Maybe that's what they're banking on.
Here they come. Drugman is in. Oh, that's awfully a lot of machines coming down into pit road at once.
They were flying into the pits,
and
too.
We've seen pit road incidents before. We've seen cars hit that attenuator that marks the transition of pit road in the racing surface. Luckily, no issues. What is going to happen for the guys that stay out, and how do the rest of the field transition? Here's Kevin Champagne.
And Mosteller, Akabuizi, and Greenwood, the last 3 staying out, needing to pit with 88 laps to go. Akabuizi takes the lead.
Hoff in 15th, Rush in 14th, Buys in 12th. The new group going around, and I'm going to say it, provisional race leader is James Bomar in 20.
And you're starting to see them making up spots in these guys coming out. And they're going to need to get that full backstretch to get back up to speed, so they'll probably cycle out behind. But where do these guys cycle out? Let's see. Let's follow that main group and see how they compare to Mosteller, as Akabuizi going just that much further.
Yeah, he's staying out by himself, and he can see the gap ahead of him continue to, I was going to say, decrease in reality. The gap ahead of them is stretching out because these drivers that would have been back markers will soon be front runners when he comes to pit road.
Let's see what we got.
Greenwood, Mosteller. This is 2nd and 3rd. It won't be much longer.
Oh, they're going to get completely overcome by them. Doors blown off.
Yeah, they've got to get in the throttle quickly and maybe hold on to any type of tow.
If you can make it to 3 and stay in that group, you'll be fine. You should at least stay with them. Mosteller, though, he is hemorrhaging positions. 13th, 14th, maybe. No, he's gonna slot in 13th, so he lost a couple spots there. But now is Akabuizi in? Yes, he is. Oh, and look at that interval going. There is no way he stays ahead of him.
No shot at all.
But,
man,
he went a good 10 laps further than some of the guys in this main group.
He did. It could play a difference, Jared. Do we bring out the calculator? 30 to 35 laps?
Nah, we got 86 to go. That's plenty of time. Akabuizi, you'll see him on the bottom. he's going to get overcome as they're going to get a bit of a draft with him, but a lot better than Mosteller and the others that he pitted around. He's going to keep the lead for the moment entering 3, and he'll lose it more than likely, but he just leapfrogged at least 10 of these guys.
I'm going to think about it right now. Fuel map 4, you could do it in one stop. I think one more stop. Fuel map 3, 2, 1, there's no way in heck you can go more than one stop on the rest of this one.
Well, John, look also at the intervals, what it's done. We've lost somebody in the main pack. It used to be 18 leading it, now it's 17, and you're just going to keep just carving off more and more as that night goes on.
This is that magic that I felt a year ago, Jarrett. Caution, caution. Oh, why did we do an open wheel event on iRacing too? Oh, wait, there's 18 guys left here, but they're dang good. And
it is awesome.
There's 85 to go, and my goodness, we got another classic on our hands.
We do. Up front, Bomar and Van Drugman, who, we didn't talk at all about before this race, just as we didn't before the race in Le Mans, just like we did in the race at Darlington. Now up front, battling for the lead and possibly the win.
Vice is in 6th, Truhl is in 7th, Greenwood is in 8th.
Look at though, Rush, Donskoy, Bice, all these guys are now behind the likes of Bomar, Drugman, Walker, Sean Rowe in the 4th spot. You wouldn't know it. We haven't talked about him all night. Nakaboeasy now 5th after being outside the top 10 before this round of stops.
You just gotta wonder, if it could work, how could it work? When could it work? And these drivers have just been on it, right? And you got this consistent flow, you got green flag pit stops. If you're just tuning in now, you're saying this race is night and day different than what you saw about an hour ago.
Yeah, an hour ago, you're thinking, man, I don't know, we're not going to get much passing, there's not enough time for strategies. That's completely out the window. Strategies galore, passing galore throughout. You're seeing Bice trying to make his way up. You're seeing Truhl make his way up. 6th position for Zachary Truhl.
Can he do it?
I think he can.
I think he can too.
Yeah,
he was my pick.
And you're seeing this, you are seeing this pack though form up more and more. Double wide, entering more of the corners. The aggression still peaked.
He's just sitting in 6th. This is where he looms, and he's done this before in times past. Looms in 6th, somehow gets to 4th, and he's fighting for the lead with 10 to go.
Well, and I want to really quick, while we are having this moment between stops and strategies, while there's not as much racing, some of the guys towards the back of this pack that have stuck on, Hornish, Perchatsky, Gutierrez, these guys have basically just kept themselves alive. And we've said it before, John, you just stay with the main group, anything's possible towards the end of these races. Same with Gavin Austin moving his way up. Kevin Champagne has stayed up there. So still some names we don't normally see making at least themselves a shot at a win.
I think about Chad Hornish, right? If you guys have been here quite a while, you know this already. For the new ones, yes, he's related to Sam Hornish Jr. This is a throwback scheme to Hornish when he raced in the Indianapolis 500. And then Jeff Perchatsky, we just mentioned his line of work. He's an engineer. And then you go to Kevin Champagne. I spoke with him. Was supposed to run the Southern 500. Has had to go through multiple surgeries as of recent. He didn't know if he was going to run this event until really about a week ago. He said, hey, if anybody drops, let me know. I wasn't going to run because of the surgery. I'm feeling so much better. I want a shot at winning another e-ticket. I said, I'm just letting you know, Kevin, someone just had a drop. Here you go. Bring the 17 back to life. And there he is. Look out. And here comes Gavin Austin to the inside. Kevin Champagne. Attrition of a race, yes, but a battle he has had from the reality side now onto the sim. What a story it would be if a Champagne name could get those second e-ticket wins.
Well, and he's somebody too, the longer the race is, the better he gets as it goes. He is one that just gets better, ages like fine wine through the night. Up front, Bomar, Drugman, Walker still up there. Top 6 or 7, virtually the same. The back of the pack, so it's been sort of shuffled around. Greenwood I believe that's him looking low under row.
Sitting in the 4th position.
Nothing yet.
Let's do this. Racing is mostly calmed down now, right? We got our fair share. I think we got the king-sized menu there for the however many laps we ran. Winners and losers on the strategy. I would say the biggest winner, obviously, James Belmar. He's leading, but Rush back in 8th was 9th. Champagne in 11th, but he was kind of there already.
Akabuizi was at the back half of the top 10 outside of it. Now up to 6th. Running pretty well with them. I'd say he's a winner.
But Donskoy, and buys. Those two came in together. Not the strategy call they needed outside the top 10.
No, I mean, Rush, same one. 8th position.
So can you strategize better? Now, Rush is with the 609 group. Him and Jerry Miller, I think they had a strategy coming in with Miller having to exit the race early due to incident.
Whoa, Greenwood tried to make the move, and I think the 93 of Walker went down near wreck, but they keep it all together.
Did a great job of it. If you're going to make those moves, you better just make sure that car comes out of turn 2 in one piece. And Greenwood does just that. The flying 08. Can you break the streak of drought and just second place finishes?
This point, it's got to be what, John? 4 years?
4 years. The last time Dale Greenwood went to Victory Lane, Ed Night in America was about a month old.
The last time that he went to Victory Lane, I was living in Illinois and you were living in Florida.
Miami, Florida.
Yeah, so and look at him. Look at this run he has. He's not going for 4th, he's going for 3rd. Not going to make it happen, but he's got the spot over Sean Rowe.
We're going to continue to play this game. Last time Dale Greenwood won a race, the next gen didn't even take the green flag yet.
Fair point. I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened since he won a race. I mean, last time he won a race, NASCAR races were under COVID protocol.
NASCAR 21 Ignition didn't even come out.
That might have been better. That might have been for the better.
It has been a while, a long, long while for Dale Greenwood. He has seen this community evolve without him going to Victory Lane. He's seen Josh Berry race in Ed Night in America. He saw the big boom with the next gen. He has been a part of this community thick and thin. And you always wondered if one of those guys, right, those great stories, those guys that have been a part of it for so long, maybe they can just get that taste of glory finally, right? We've had the great stories of Dean Brummett. We've had the great stories of, I want to say, Daniel Mosteller, Braden Mulvick, TCB becoming a multi-time winner, the first one at that.
We've had some that have been one-hit wonders. Mason Moriarty, first NWP 400, nothing else since.
Right.
But then we've had others that have went on to the Coach Series, who've went on to win major races outside of NR. Wyatt Tinsley
went on to the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
Vargas.
There's been so many stories to etch yourself into history in the 30th running, and Greenwood is going for the lead.
And the icing on top of the cake. You're going to want the cherry later if that's what you like. It's Bomar top sign that stops it and says, don't care about the story. It's PBR or nothing. And with 73 to go, it's back to the duel for the lead.
What an amazing run up for that 08 machine. Down low, Greenwood clears to the lead at Indianapolis with 73 to go.
You hear the roars. You hear the roars in the line chat as well. Here you are. Can you be here at mile 500?
This would be a popular win with the drivers as well, I would say, but they're not going to roll over, lay over for him. Bomar back up front to the lead, and you're starting to see that shuffling in the pack. More guys making moves.
And you're coming to 72 laps to go.
And you know, all of this going on as Greenwood goes again. We didn't even mention that Kevin Champagne has dropped all the way to 17th, the back of this pack.
That's a little interesting. Let's go ahead and take a moment to listen to some cars. Listen to Bomar, and this is how we're going to tell maybe what fuel map he's in, kind of a gauge, right? On the throttle, nice and heavy. If it sounds like he's down on power, he's maybe in fuel map 4. He is. He's definitely in a different fuel map, and you can hear it.
But that's going to be the interesting part, is Some of these guys now can go longer each run. Can you maybe cut off a stop? And who cares if you have that little less power? You're going to have 37 seconds of difference between your competition. Greenwood doesn't care either way. He's in the here and now with 71 left, battling Bomar for the lead.
He has not changed from the number 08 since day one. I've tried to get him to change that number so many times. He says it's mine or nothing. And guess what? He's kept it that way since NASCAR Heat 4. Today he sits top of the board, but the battles don't stop behind him.
No, they don't, and it's going to be ahead of him now for Bomar. He takes that lead. The 08 staying the same, but Greenwood competing. Honestly, like you wound the clocks back 4 years.
And, you know, we've had so many times where we've had those awe moments comparing how NR was in 21 and 22, how the commentary was, how the setups have been, right? If Greenwood goes to victory lane, right now the only people that have access to Greenwood's first ever win, members of the YouTube channel. Because we used to private all the live streams back in the day, and they asked for us to see if we got one car stuffed in the grass down to the exit of turn, or down the back stretch heading to turn 3. But yes, it is something that we would probably like to see, because it's the biggest branch of what was and now what is.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a great olive branch to the past.
Dojenko, second incident, he's out. And he's going to most likely either bring it to pit road or just pull it to the side. Not the race he's wanted. He was on such a high of the last NR night in America. And it's been a while since there's been an NR night in America on the stock car side, because the last one was just fully engulfed with IndyCar racing. But man, oh man, there's so much to watch, Jarrett. There's so much to wonder. Is it a possibility of a weather report that we can possibly think about, talk about?
Yes, I'm keeping track of the radar, and so we are located just north of Nashville. Looks like Clarksville, which is, what, 60 miles over us? That storm is starting to close in on Hopkinsville and Clarksville. It might be close if those storms produce anything. Heavy winds, too. You got to think of that when it comes to power and internet. So these guys racing now, it could be for the win, this run or the next.
Yeah, this is where Jeff McConey is. After the tornadoes we had in December of 23, we considered going to Clarksville because McConey had power and Wi-Fi up, and he invited us over to run the Drive Smart California 500. Luckily, mere days before that event, we got power on at like 4 in the morning, got right back to work with things. So a complete flip-flop on that, and that information is really important for drivers as well. Drugman's in second, Walker's in third. Clarksville's not that far, maybe about an hour from us.
Yeah, give or take. I'll say, John, you know, now that time's passed and there's a bit of a lull right here, we can actually kind of talk a little bit about that kind of deal that week. That week was crazy.
Oh,
we had the tornado. So the place you live now is where I lived then. And the tornado literally came off the ground,
right,
over my apartment, broke the roof. We had roof damage, water damage inside. I heard it like a freight train go over me. Power goes out. We have to stay a town over. You're staying with family down south. Power comes back on 3 days before the event. We do the event. And then, John, the other part, for me, I had to get up about 7 hours after the checkered flag for that event.
That's right.
Because I had to drive up to Cincinnati because I managed someone, a fan, said, hey, I can't go to this game. I know you're a Vikings fan. Do you want to go? And I'm like, well, where are the tickets? It's like row 4 behind the Vikings bench at the 50-yard line. Heck yeah! Wild night in every single way. And the best part, I had to navigate my way home the old-fashioned way because my phone died at the stadium.
Oh, my goodness.
Which I was like, I'm glad I know how to read a map still. My dad taught me well.
I remember that very well because I had to wake up a couple hours later to go to Florida.
It was a wild time because that was about a week or two right before Christmas, give or take.
Yeah.
That was wild. And it's almost as wild as tonight.
It is. And you know what? We have this little moment to talk about stories, right? I remember growing up, it's all about hurricanes. I look in the live chat. Let's give some shout-outs here. David Bell, Eric W. Eric W.'s out there in the Suncoast area, out towards Tampa. Get a week or so to kind of prepare for a hurricane. I'll never forget Hurricane Irma 2017. My entire neighborhood evacuated except for one family. What family was that, Jarrett? The Ramos family.
Yeah, I was gonna guess that was the case.
And I walked out on the road that's usually busy, as we see.
Hey, real quick, Rush way back. Did he lag out or did he pit?
Oh, he's out of here. Oh, we're gonna have to go ahead and get an update on that soon. But here's the battle for the lead with Dale Greenwood.
Bomar too, did he pit?
Not sure. Caden Rush will happen. He was still in the 609 chat, which leads me to believe Power, and he's from Kentucky.
And right now, Kentucky is getting nailed by storms and tornadoes left and right. Louisville, Bowling Green, all of them.
Okay. Rush, John Ramos, you got a copy. Yeah, so he is out of this race and not responding, which at least as of this moment leads us to believe. Well, let's go ahead and try a different chat. Rush, John Ramos, you got a copy. Yeah, so he definitely had the internet go out. Maybe a loss of power from what we can guess. If a caution comes out, he can get back up to the lead lap because of the storms that are rolling through. Caden Rush, not what he wanted today.
Now, Bomar, Bice, Donskoy, looks like they all pitted on this run because they're 40 seconds back, roughly a full lap, it's looking like. Greenwood leading over Walker.
And we now go single file. And I think back 2017, you just see that big storm coming, right?
Yep.
And it's like, here we go, and everything's calm and eerie. And I'll never forget that time we had that tornado. It felt almost like a hurricane coming. It was overly still, but yet somehow there was still wind.
The sky was a different color.
Weird.
The craziest thing, John, is I could see the tornado coming out of my window. I could see the wedge. It was crazy. But we'll keep an eye out, see if he can get back in at some point in this race. Up front, though, the lead pack now is 13 cars strong after pitting, after some having issues here and there.
I think we had a drive-through penalty for Max Steinmeier. He dropped with the tail. He now sits in the 18th spot. Let's look and think, because here's Greenwood, here's Walker, and Donskoy is about 40 seconds back. Why is that? He came to pit road again. This now is 61 laps to go. They came really short because they're on a different fuel map than some others that were thinking of saving. I think the idea is to pit just once more for them.
I think it might be too.
Bomar's already come to pit road. Byes has already come to pit road. McKinney is now back in the 14th spot. And he's lined in with Eladon Contreras and some other back markers looking to possibly make some shine happen on their somewhat Friday evening, depending on where they're racing from. For Yaroslav Donskoy, it's Saturday morning with the sun rising over on the other side of the world. Byes not going to play a role. And Dale Greenwood, he's the race leader. In tow, by the way.
Yes, that's right. And that is going to be really important when it comes to the strategy towards the end of this thing. Look at them all in a line now. It's starting to get to showtime. We're getting to the closing quarter of this race. If you want to put it in football terms, it's in the last minute or so of the third quarter. And you know, like, it's going to start picking up.
I love looking at the live chat because we got to about halfway and some people are like, dang, we just got here? We just got to halfway? I feel like halfway was now 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going quick. And yeah, I'm looking at the radar here. It's looking like the storms are getting to Clarksville soon. I think we should be good down here based on how fast-paced this race is going. The last caution, knock on wood, it doesn't happen again. But was what, John, with 10, 15 laps to halfway, maybe more?
Yeah, so we've had a long green flag run. With how these drivers have been racing, because some of those guys are in that region as well.
Yeah.
I think that's why we've seen the consistency that we have currently brought to the front half, or should we say the second half of this Indiana 500.
The business half of this race. That's what it is. It's the business half. And you're seeing now Drugman in third. That is Walker in front. Greenwood in the lead.
Confirmed. Caden Rush lost power.
Oh.
Now he is allowed to come back if the power comes. Once again, was in that area of Kentucky that we were watching the storms, caution after caution. As long as he can come in, you'll have a shot to continue. But he's going to be multiple laps down.
That same line of storms is what's coming towards us to hit us. So again, any moment, any time, we got to get to the end, and these guys know it. Up front of this pack, it's Bomar and Bice who are fighting for what they're hoping to be provisional lead. But when you have these guys right there down into the pits, that's Walker.
It is. He's in. Huff is in as well.
All right, we need to follow these three, and see where they come out of the pits down the front stretch. If we can see those leaders coming and see how far away they are, could be the difference.
Now this strategy is going to be a little bit different, right? Because last time those drivers that did the massive undercut came in, they came in an area where the leaders weren't getting any type of tow. Now the leaders are getting tow. They're not having to be full on in the throttle. For Dale Greenwood, I mean, we can go ahead and check his inputs as long as he does not come to pit road this time by, which he doesn't. They're going to have somewhat of an advantage. This is clocking 228. Out of the throttle, still out of the throttle. I wouldn't undercut on this stint just because of what's ahead of the race leaders.
No, I mean, this changes everything. I know that's a cliche thing to say, but it does. And you see those guys who pit, look at them all the way up front there in 3 already, 4. Look how far, you can't even see him in this view.
No.
That's Walker, Huff, and Gutierrez as well.
They see it in the corner. There you go.
Let's see from their view at the end of the front stretch. We can see how far away they are. I mean, it's pretty big, and you see Greenwood trying to negotiate his way through this lap traffic.
So here they are, not in view when they get to turn 2. The chute, not relevant at all in the situation. And you'll see it mostly when they get to the front straightaway.
If Hornish can get towed onto the back of this group, that is a huge leap up for him.
Same with Gutierrez.
And look who's the losers in all of this. Donskoy, Bice, Bomar. They're fighting to stay on the lead lap because of that pack catching up to them, because of how much longer they were in the pits. And now there they go, top 2 into the pits.
Yeah, Greenwood just dived on in. I think Van Drugman was going to join them. So the top 2 at that moment have diced their way to pit road. They're going to have one more opportunity to come in and pit. And I'm telling you, Jarrett, when you get in that consistent flow of clocking 230 around a 2.5-mile racetrack, and then you have to woe it down to the pit speed that's currently a part of this track.
Oh, it's like
not easy.
It's like being a snail pace
all
the way down. It's like being a snail racing a cheetah. It's just unfair.
And Trull's in 3rd.
Akabuizi looking low. Nothing going to happen. 2 more peel down. That is, I believe, Gavin Austin. At least I thought it was, yes. And Jeff Prochatsky.
In and there.
Did Greenwood and Van Drugman?
They pit.
No, but let's find them. Are they cycling out with that lead group? Yes. Look who is leapfrogged over them. Kevin Champagne.
Wow.
Kevin Champagne would be leading this lead draft.
How on earth did he do that?
Because he's on a different fuel map.
Had to take less fuel in the car. Wow.
And there's more peeling down.
Sean Rowe.
Akabuizi and Mosteller stay out again.
Trull, Rowe in. Defending winner of this race. 3-time e-ticket champion. Remain 1-2, 51 to go. And some drivers are predicting this now to go green.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are racing that way. It's that spread out. What a difference from a year ago where it started getting more spread out as it went to the point where there was not a lead draft. Now, you're seeing that difference. Another one peels off. That's going to be Mosteller.
Sean Rowe, there he is on the bottom. He's going to be somewhat to the tail.
It's going to be a freight train going by him. Right now, it is the battle for provisional lead is between Greenwood, Champagne, and Walker.
Man, oh man, oh man.
All right, let's see where he cycles out coming out of the pits here. You see these guys. This is the current leaders. Akabuizi.
Underneath that of Yaroslav Donskoy.
Wait a minute. If that's the case, then that means these three are on an island. Those three behind them, those lappers, look how far back they are from the lead pack. They might be toast.
Wow.
All right, let's see where Mosteller is. Oh, not even close. He needs to stay with this group because it looks like we just lost 3 more to the main pack. Look how much
to fall off.
Look how much faster they're moving past him. And you see the battle now is Champaign and Greenwood. Akabuizi staying out longer. Maybe he's banking on that.
Oh, there's Donskoy in the wall.
Single car crash though. That won't be a caution. It is. Wow.
Did he just trap drivers a lap down? That's going to be the question. He did. Buys Bomar, and turn 3 has caused 3 cautions tonight with drivers getting in it.
I'm surprised it being a 1-car crash that was a caution.
Wow. And this is also going to bring other drivers that maybe weren't on that best strategy forward. A lot of them, yes, they did pit, so they'll get the wave around.
Akabuizi has to pit, so he's going to be, he's not only going to be at the back, he's going to be at the very back.
Man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yaroslav Donskoy, 2 Russians entered this race, both now out.
Well, how many laps did he lead in this thing? We're able to find that. That was
an insanely long green flag run. Watch right here. We saw him get in the wall on his own. Everybody trying to use every inch of the track so they don't have to lift.
So Akabuizi goes down. And what you got to watch, too, is when you look at the Lucky Dog stuff, Bice would be that first one.
Heavy damage.
And this is also, John, where I would say fatigue starts to set in.
Oh, yeah, and there's a reason. I love that you mentioned that. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but think about it. The sun is rising. He's been up for probably nearly 20 hours.
Yeah.
And
one mistake, that's all it takes.
The long green flag run, just so easy to do that.
And look at this. Behind Akabuizi, the lead lap drivers all coming down pit road.
Wow.
And is that Hornish is going to be the one with the lead? Hornish leading at Indianapolis.
It's awesome, but can he do it at the end? I wonder with those lead lap guys, could they be in a different fuel map, stay in the lead draft, and maybe either A, yes, still be forced to pit with 1 to go. B, pit once more until the checker flag. B, find a caution and then feel a little safer, even though these drivers possibly would come down pit road, but then you guys would have the track position. Or C, run fuel map 4, which could possibly get you up to 40 laps, and just hold on for what you have.
Or we just shuffle it up, roll the dice, and wherever it lands at this point. Because I have a feeling that this is not the last caution. Because these guys are showing such aggression, and track position means so much now. I really think that we're probably going to get another incident or 2 before the end of this thing.
There's Walker, Drugman, and Hoff. Gutierrez, Perchatsky, Mosteller now heading on to the speedway. Zachary Truhl, Chad Hornish. You'll get the wave arounds of the drivers in front of them. With Bomar, Eladam Contreras. And man, oh man, what a race. Drivers out, Jeremy Miller, Davis Lewis, Jacob Malone, David Joyner, Connor Murphy, Hector Collazo, Braden Movick, Chase Krall, Zachary Trevino, Riker Byram, Yahir Rodriguez, Devins Baker, Toel Owen, Joe West, Abraham Vila, whatever it counts, Derek Shaver, Max Swearigan, Jaden Hall, Dovchenko, Foydor, Caden Rush, due to internet. The best 21 are left, still on par to where we were just about a year ago. And we are ready to see if Indy can come to life in the closing moments.
Well, and we went green at what, about 8:17, give or take?
Somewhere around there, yes.
So, well, 8:17 or 7:17, I should say.
Well, 7:17 local.
7:17 local. So it's been about 2 hours. So this, depending on how caution's going on this, it might be one of the shortest e-tickets, but because of that, the pace of it for these drivers has to be so much faster, because all of these, every e-ticket we've had this year has been 3 hours or more.
Really?
Yeah, 3 hours, 9 minutes, 16 seconds at Daytona, 3 flat for Le Mans based on timing of it being a timed race, 3:21.39 Darlington, and 3:03.12 Talladega. So the pace of this race is quick, and you cannot make any mistakes here. And here they're lined up for 45 to go for the restart.
Base car, the hard left. Chad Hornish, Zachary Truel, Gavin Austin, and Sean Rowe make up the 4 drivers of the restart zone, back underway from Indiana.
Quite spaced out for the restart, side by side towards the back half of the top 10. I believe that's Walker and Drugman, maybe.
Truel is there. Do you go get him?
Yes, you do. Down low goes that Haviland Chevrolet.
Honda versus Chevy. Cadillac in view in third.
That's Gavin Austin now up to the 3rd spot. Sean Rowe back in the top 5, and Akabuizi, the pay window opening up soon. 5th position on the track, coming to 44 left.
Man, can you do it? Can a Hornish go back to victory lane in Indianapolis?
Oh, he's going to look up top, going to try and arc that corner a little bit better. Truel now the sitting duck as the leader.
Greenwood back in 6th, no change. Champagne back in 7th, no change. Aiden Walker sitting in 8th, Van Drugman sitting in 9th. Single file, back to turn 3.
Now is about timing. You're getting to that point. You are going to have to pit again. So it's when are you going to pit? When are you going to make those moves? And when are you going to get that track position? Because you can't win back there where Bice is at this point, or Steinmeier, Perchatsky. You're one of those guys. You got to make your way up, and that's exactly what Dale Greenwood is trying to do.
Underneath Sean Rowe, got to give the competitors somewhat room. One little mistake, everything changes.
John, he might not have the best car tonight, but Dale Greenwood has the best runs of the night. How many times have we seen him pass 2 or 3 cars at once, at will? He's going to try and pass Rowe. Not try, he will pass Rowe. Top 4, fast 4 goes Greenwood.
And that was late, very late off the end of the back straightaway. Was able to lock that in. Rowe did not challenge, just let him go on by. I mean, talk about heart, right? Talk about this magical moment.
There he goes.
1, 2, not able to get 3, but he should possibly get up the 2nd. No, Hornish powers on the outside.
It's incredible the runs he's able to get. He might not be able to make any of those positions up if Gavin Austin can make it stick. He can't. Top 3 for Greenwood. He's on the charge.
Come on, give him something to work with. Here's Hornish to the bottom of Truel.
Making that move. He has the position. Truel slots in 2nd.
And Greenwood holds on to 3rd for now. Gavin Austin knows what it feels to be a bridesmaid on the biggest stage in sim.
He is right in the back pocket of the 08. Who makes that move? Down for the lead. Dale Greenwood to the lead. 41 laps left at Indianapolis.
Can you believe it? To turn 2. Greenwood in his story, his powerful Chevrolet. The Hornish last name on full display. Truel, what he has done from underdog to veteran, and then the driver who just recently finished runner-up, sitting in 4th.
The Greenwood, the legacy of NR, of how far this community has come. 40 to go leads. Hornish with the legacy of the Hornish family in name. And Zachary Truel right there in striking distance with Gavin Austin behind him. Then we have Rowe right there in that red and white car, and riding with 6th place Akabuizi. Don't look back now. That's Kevin Champagne, one of the best families in NR. 7th position, 40 left.
His brother has never won an e-ticket. He got it done one hot night. The least amount of cautions in an event. Can he do it in possibly the shortest on time?
I don't know, John. Don't tug on Superman's cape, because Akabuizi has made his way up to the fast 4, right behind Truel. Truel makes the move underneath, going 3 wide. Akabuizi to the lead, entering 1.
We didn't talk about him the last 30 or 40 laps, but he has arrived at Honda on full display to turn 2.
Both our win picks, 1-2 on the racetrack, John, and they're not going to probably keep it that way in that order, because Truel goes out, takes the lead on the bottom, has positioning in 3. He's got it.
But do we see a switchback?
But do we see
a switch off?
Do we see Greenwood make another move? He's done it all night where he can pass 2 cars at once. The spacing is a little too far probably to do that. Top 3 have space between them. Akabuizi makes the move. Here comes Hornish looking for 3rd.
He's under Greenwood.
Can't make it happen. Akabuizi gets the lead though.
And Gavin Austin stuck like glue to the outside, ripped around the top, and finds his way into 4th.
Sean
38
Rowe.
to go.
Sean Rowe gets past Hornish, now in 5th. Truel looking for that lead again. Greenwood not enough space made up to make that pass. 28 of Truel leads. Akabuizi in 2nd, a bit of a gap to the rest.
Walker back to 9th, Mosteller back in 10th, Jugman, Huff, Bomar, Perchatsky, a pair of Hondas. A little bit deeper in this single file running. Buizi to the bottom. He's going to make it work again. Akabuizi, the race leader. Truel versus Buizi. This is what we want to see. This is what you want on this Friday evening.
He's got that lead for now. It's looking like it's going to be these two battling back and forth. And John, unlike last year, when you have the whole pack snarling behind you, you can't hold back to let that guy have the lead like Akabuizi did last year. Your strategy definitely has to change at this point. He's going to go all the way back to Dale Greenwood, and now Truel almost like being the leader at Talladega, too big of a lead.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen is the 4 in tow is going to make the strike to turn 1. He does it again.
It's just going to be like this all the way to the finish, back and forth, back and forth. They will have to pit at some point, I would assume. If they can make it longer, 35 laps is the max we heard tonight. They'd get in that fuel window pretty soon. I wouldn't think they would do it that early if they were to short pit. Truel doesn't care. He's going for the lead again.
And this is his big moment. This is what he has wanted. I remember last year he said, Indy is my place. Indy is where I can get it done.
Looking fit. Bice making his way back up on the high side, right behind Gavin Austin, who's trying to get redemption after being just snipped at the line by Mosteller at Dega.
And he's way out of the groove.
But he's making it work. He is getting huge runs out of the corners, and now going for the 4th spot, has a nose over Austin. Not a nose, an entire car.
Listen to the car, take a moment. No, and on the same fuel map as the drivers around him. He's just that quick.
Look at him go. He tries the crossover move on Greenwood. Is Bice the one to beat? Coming to the finish.
Greenwood in 3rd. He's really not had to be on the defensive too much today. It's really been about Greenwood slicing through the pack. Buizi to the inside.
Another big move by him to the lead. But we've seen him take the lead, but not have it at the line. So not counting as a lead change, but also towards the finish of this race. Again, the timing of where you make the pass is so critical.
And Truel's going to go to the bottom. Got it to turn 3. Walker in 9th, Mosteller in 10th, Drugman in 11th. Huff, Perchatsky, Gutierrez, Indianapolis has put on a heck of a show in times past. It's ready to do it again. Akabuizi to the inside of Zachary Truel. Double. Around goes Jackson Bice. That in turns 1 and 2. Dale Greenwood is in it. Chad Hornish could have gotten a piece of it. And with 33 laps to go, we could have a shootout in Indy. Oh, man. And whose hopes have been dashed? We look at the damage possibly on the 08. Jackson buys. There's him in 33. And now it's time to go ahead and look back and see. Greenwood gets into buys. Buys goes around. And they all come together. You can see the 84 machine of Brad Gutierrez. He got a piece of it. And man, oh man, did it all kind of just happen out of nowhere. Man, Greenwood just got into him. This is the point of the race where you're going to question things, you're going to see things, and then we get to go ahead and speak with the drivers how it kind of just all came together. The answers you want, you're about to get. Greenwood, is the car okay?
Huh? I can't see it. It feels a little broke, but I think it should be still a lap.
Okay, we're going to continue to go ahead and monitor every single driver. He says it seems a little broke, but it doesn't seem to be that off-putting. Let's talk to Truel. Truel, crunch time, how's the car?
Riding beautifully right now, John.
What are you thinking right here? I mean, you're going to have less than 30 to go, an e-ticket on the line.
Give it everything I have. You know, this is exactly where I wanted to be, there at the end. So I'm going to go give it my best shot. You know, I know Hamilton's the best Indy driver on iRacing, so well, just lost a spot. But we're in good shape, I think. It's going to be really tight on fuel, too, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm just excited, man. I'm so excited to be in this position and just so grateful for this opportunity. I really hope all the viewers are enjoying this. I'm going to go do everything I can to go get this. If we don't get it, it's all good, but just so happy I even have a shot at one of these things, so I'm going to make the most of it.
Zachary Truel, man of the people. Continue to get updates. Let's see if we can get Jackson buys per chance. Nope, not able to go ahead and get him. Okay, this is how we set it up. 31 laps to go from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. James Bomar, the race leader. Akabuizi in second. Mosteller in third. Zachary Truel in fourth. Hornish, Champagne, Austin, and Walker make up the top 8. Drugman, Rowe, the top 10. And then we got Huff. Then we got Steinmeier all lined in with an opportunity of a lifetime. 30 laps left remaining here from Indianapolis. Back here from Indianapolis to get the one to go. Jarrett, big update for you.
I think I'm going to have to go because, well, might be having a kid tonight. So I wish everybody the best in this race. I will be watching for sure on the way to the hospital. And everybody have an absolutely great night. Stay safe out there with the storms. And I will see you, the Hoosier 400, I believe is the next one. And hey, you know what? Maybe I'll show up for a random NR here or there. How about that?
Might as well. You know, this has been a wild event.
Yeah.
Why not throw that in? Go ahead and have fun. Why not?
Right. Have a good time tonight, John. Can't wait to see you again.
The drivers and the viewers will be right with us. Jarrett Lundberg will be jumping to the wayside as we will continue running in the Indiana 500. It's Honda on Honda for the top 2 spots. Chevy on Chevy sitting 3rd and 4th. Mosteller and Truel. Hornish, Champagne, Austin, and Walker make up that top 8. And then you got Drugman, you got Rowe. This is Indianapolis. This is the Indy 500. What can come from everything that you have to offer. Indiana has been on one heck of a drive, one heck of a roll for what is to come. 30 to go. Boise P2, Mosteller in third. He rides in line to turn 2. Troll back to 4th, Hornish into 5th. And it's Champagne and Austin sitting 6th and 7th. You see Pomar back to the outside, just thinks jumping top, maybe jumping bottom. Get that driver to think. Get him to wonder. Move to the inside, 3 wide. James Bomar bails out on the throttle. Mosteller to second. Is it a 4 on the side of the wing column? And with 28 to go, you'll know you won't be pitting anymore. All systems headed forward. Mosteller, new race leader from Indy. Bomar in 3rd, Trull in 4th, Hornish in 5th, 3 wide, James Bomar moves to the bottom, and Mosteller can wait. Thought about it again. Kevin Champagne in 6th, Gavin Austin in 7th, Aiden Walker back in 8th, Van Drugman in 9th, Sean Rowe in 10th. Getting 3 was such a difficult feat. Getting 4 just seems unheard of, including with how good of a field it is still running for the finish. Seven sits Austin, 8th sits Walker, Drugman back in 9th. Couple machines towards the outside wall, deeper in the field. Bomar to cover on Boise. And Most comes into view. Trull sits in 4th. He's watching. He's waiting. Austin P6. Walker P7, Van Drugman P8, Sean Rowe, Trevor Huff 9th and 10th. And with 25 laps to go, this is what's on for the race lead. Most P3. Boise underneath, James Bomar gives up the lead for now. Champagne P5. 24 to go. Oh man, trying it again. You just see the 4 and the 87. 2nd and 3rd. Trull sits in 4th. The art of Indy. The art of this race. 2 Hondas, 3 Chevrolets, the top 5, and Kevin Champagne doing what he can. Remember, Hornish went around in the last incident. He's back in 13th. Mostly unscathed. Greenwood went around as a part of that incident, as a part of that wreck, still running on the racetrack. It's just going to be so difficult to watch for some of these drivers. Their heart is racing. Can Akabuisi do it again? And then there's Beaumont just sitting in second. Wants the run, wants the drive, has the opportunity off turn 2. Champagne, Austin, Walker, Buys. There's Buys up there in 8th. And they'll continue to trade blows. 21 laps to go. We have had, up to this point, when we see the checkered flag, 30 e-ticket events. That's 30 different ways we have seen a finish. 30 different times we had 40-something odd drivers leave with sadness, with one in pure joy. From multi-time winners to others that are just wondering if they would ever hoist it up top. Three wide. Nearly went by as he tried the long way around, had a bail out of the throttle. Champagne in 6, Buys in 5th. And this single file train of machines now waiting with 20 to go. You didn't know if you were going to see another caution, you got one. You didn't know if you would see green flag pit stops because of what happened in the first 50 laps. You then saw it. Troll at the bottom, Buys will join. Beaumont outside, lined in with Mosteller. All chasing a driver that sits head of the table from Indianapolis. The third e-ticket event to be held at the Brickyard. And right now it's Honda that sits 1-2. It's Troll that sits in 3rd. He's wanted this win oh so badly. He's wanted this race to go his way. Just one e-ticket. Gets second. Gets the lead to the shoot of 1 and 2 with 18 to go. Zachary Troll and Chevrolet. Top of the board. Buisi wants it back. He's able to get it. There's Demos on the bottom. There's Kevin Champagne. Troll again. Who's gonna bluff? 17 to go. It's just so quick, so energetic. Austin 7th, Walker in 8th. Walker has won from this position before. And just look at the speeds, 230 miles per hour. Sun setting, grip levels rising up. And with 17 laps to go on the table, what's left stands ahead. 235. Akabuisi under fire, Jackson Buys. Looked underneath. Mo Summer Pomar. Buisi under Trool. And he's back leading in the same spot on the same track that he was a year ago. It's Caden Rush that's going for the lead. It's Zachary Trool, the New Jersey native. His back was against the wall so many times, and with 15 to go, it's nothing but open air. And that Northeasterner man wants it bad, but so does Buys, so does Bomar. The Bees are on the scene. Mosteller is back in 5th. Kevin Champagne is back in 6th. 14 laps to go from Indy, and it's on. Bomar watching on. Oh, gets covered by Buys. And Daniel Mosteller lurking underneath. Buys on the outside, toe-to-toe. Van Drugman, don't forget his story. Could he be the first to win 3 e-ticket events in 1 year? He rides in 6th. 3 wide Buys. And Trull is P2. Top lane looks heavy. Buys nearly gets rear-ended. That's around Daniel Mosteller. Top shelf to run for the lead at turn 3. 12 to go from Indy. 3 wide. 3 possibly of the biggest names. Oh, nearly catching the wall. Maybe just scraped it. Was that Bomar? Was that Buys? Never mind. They're outside the top 4. And it's 12 to go. Mosteller versus Boise, Boise versus Trull, Trull versus Van Drugman. It just goes on and on and on. Boise looking for his second. Drugman going for 3rd. The 4-time club has never been started, but in Indy, you know the 4-time club for the likes of Helio Castroneves that has won the Indianapolis 500 4 times. It's a feat so many have not been able to taste. In NR, it's a little different. 4 e-ticket titles. How fitting it would be to come from a track in an event like this. You see the wheel deeper. Kevin Champagne falling back. Gavin Austin falling back. And Daniel Mosteller starts to scoot away. 9 laps to go. Boise sets the hook, not allowing him to run. He just gets to the lead. Jackson Buys P5 from sitting out of this event a year ago, from being next on the list to take a lap in the last chance qualifiers, the gun going off. He then sets a time that would have put him in the show, to now sitting in the Fast 4. Elite 8 is Austin. Lucky 7, Kevin Champagne. Fast 6, going Walker and Buys as they trade and dance to turn 1. Oh, Buys goes wide, makes contact with Trull. They both save it to 2. It's on. If your heart's racing, theirs is going quicker. and Drugman lays on in fourth. It's the greatest spectacle in sim, the Indiana 500. 7 laps to go. Remember how monumental and how exciting last year was. Now put upwards of 14 machines in a bubble. Boise to the outside, Mostello on the bottom, Truhl looks low. And he's got it again. Honda came mere inches from winning last year. It would have been their first e-ticket title as a manufacturer. They would have become the 5th manufacturer to do it. Now they stand with many in the running, but not many laps remaining. You're under 6 to go. This race is official. You see the caution, you may not see a restart. Buys to the bottom. And he got to roll oh so well to turn 3. He's able to make it stick off turn 4. But Boise has an ace up his sleeve. To the bottom, to the lead. Oh, trouble Zachary Truhl around and up and into the air. May have gone Van Drugman, he's in the fence. Max Steinmeier, heavy damage as well. He caught the fence as well. And with 5 laps to go, this race could be official. Hamilton Akabuizi is the race leader. Can they restart it? And that's what we're all wondering now. Four to go. They'll pick up the pace car with 3 to go. Won't see a replay just yet. And we're going to wait on the admins. Let's see. I think if they get 3 to go. Yes, this race is not over. It could be a 1-lap shootout. Now let's watch back and relive what happened. One-lap shootout, that's what's projected to be. Zachary Truhl, heartbreak. Van Drugman, heartbreak. Wow. Max Steinmeier, you saw him flipping as well. Onboard view of the 23. We're gonna have a 1-lap shootout from Indianapolis. Hold your lunch, hold your dinner. We're not gonna allow you to lose it. This is what it comes down to. This is what you waited for. And it's between an underdog, 2 veterans, 3 veterans, 4 veterans, a driver that finished runner-up, a Hornet sitting in 8th. And Mosteller getting ready to see, after he started the 3-time club, if he can stand alone and with the gap as the 4-time club. A wild wreck happening in turns 1 and 2. They picked the pace car up right away. And if they didn't pick it up, and if that wreck honestly probably happened in 3 and 4, this race would be official. But because of how they picked it up, for the first time ever, a 1-lap shootout in an e-ticket event. This is it. And it's the moment you've all been waiting for. You've all come to see. Cadillac, can they do it? And the thing is, Mosteller's going to be sitting in that catbird seat. He should, in theory, have the run to turn 3 when they hit full saw. And Moise's going to back it up, right? What he's going to do is try to offset that 87. You don't want him to power off just around when you do, because then he's going to be in full control. And then there's Jackson Buys. Then there's Aiden Walker. Kevin Champagne, Gavin Austin, Trevor Huff. This is it. This is Indy. Strap down the TV because it's going for a ride. Can Boise defend his might? Can Mosteller win in his new gold scheme? Son of a gun! 1 to go in the Indiana 500. And Boise waited. Did not want that 87 to get any type of moves. Final time off turn 2. Boise to the bottom. He goes to cover. Mosteller underneath, Buys to the outside. Through the chute of 3 and 4, it's gonna be a race to the yard of bricks. Buys the underdog at 33, Mosteller the veteran. He's gonna do it. He's gonna make it to the 4-time club. Mosteller wins the Indiana 500. Just some things can't be scripted, and once again, when things look like they were gonna be tough, he comes out on top. Oh my goodness! And are you feeling the same thing that we're all feeling? I mean, it was inches. He burns it down on the front straightaway at our Night in America, feeling victories all year long. Mr. 4. We'll review the finish. They're calling 3/1000ths of a second as Jackson Buys P2. And we're gonna watch the replay. These drivers coming off that final corner. Full saw.
The bigger and better the speaker, the higher the fly.
And we're just in shock of how this one finished. Boise, P3, Bice, P2. So many calling for a review. Let's hear it. Watch right here. Slow it all the way down to the inside wall.
Sensational.
That's the difference. Another photo finish with the 87 on top. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The finish of the 2025 Indiana 500.
You get the idea?
Some things are just meant to be on sim.
You like to hear a sample?
And this one right here,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just barely. Wild. Wild, wild, wild stuff. Screenshot it, send it. Because it's hard to see things like that happen more than once. And in this case, Ramos, it's for him. Welcome to now the four-time club Mosteller Immortalized.
Man, I can't believe it. I every time you pull me in here after one of these, I say I don't know what to say. This time, I really don't know what to say. I mean, out of all of these, I did not have this one circled on
Would you like to hear
a
a
place
sample?
where I would be competitive, but sure enough, man.
Oh man, they're saying YouTube short. I think so. I think so. Wow. Catch your breath. You've been here before. Final lap. I mean, you were in position, but they swarmed you.
Oh yeah, man. I was really worried about that one lap shootout. I kind of learned from the first lap that the second row, or I guess in this case, for the one lap shootout, P3 and 4, we're gonna have a monster run, and I knew that I just needed to hold the bottom and just hope basically that I could keep it flat, and I did, and it's truly a miracle that I held on, because I knew that they were gonna be hungry, they were gonna be swarming me, and my goodness, man, I can't believe it.
I mean, it just, yeah. You look at these things, you look at how they happen, right? And it's so hard to win one. We talked so long about who can get 3. We barely mentioned 4 today. And quickly, you made it a 4-time club. We've been doing this for 4 years, and matter of fact, let's get even deeper. In about a week, it will be 4 years since NR Night in America started. Its first ever stream had Indianapolis in it. So when we do things in the month of May, it does resonate. 4 years, you're now a 4-time winner. You've been here since the beginning, and you took down a driver that won this event last year. Did you think it was maybe going to be a one-lap shootout?
At first, I didn't, because I was all mad that I was second when the yellow came out. But then I realized, it was going to be a one-lap shootout, and then my mind switched to, how am I going to play this? What exactly do I need to do to put myself in the best position? And I was pretty calm. I I kind of had thought it all out, and I was ready for everything and prepared, which is why I was able to get the win then.
Who do you want to say thank you to? I mean, those viewers back at home, I mean, they've watched you win this thing now so many times.
Oh yeah, of course. Thank you guys for watching. Always a pleasure to showcase my talents in front of you know, an amazing community. It's honestly, it's so much fun, man, and I have a load of fun coming in here and just doing what I love, and that's, you know, racing with my friends, having a great time, and to be in my own club again, up to 4 now, that's really special considering how a couple weeks ago you were asking about who's going to be the first of 3. Now we got the gold card for number 4, and
oh my goodness. Are we going to be able to get a photo one day of all your winning schemes kind of lined up together?
I think that's definitely possible, but you know, this also feels good that I won on a car other than a next gen and other than a, you know, traditional super speedway. It's great to kind of get that monkey off my back too, and just expand the winning resume. That's what it means.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is Daniel Mosteller, now a 4-time e-ticket winner, and to do it 3/1000ths of a second short comes Jackson Buys. It feels good to have you in this race. You were here because you're winning that final NR night in America. It set up a storyline that so many said, Buys, you didn't belong here. You didn't need to be here. There was one point you were out of this event because of timing and all this thing, scheduling, to then coming back. You were in it because you sent the scheme. P2, yes, when you're that close to winning, it's tough. But what are you feeling?
I wish I didn't get a little bit of contact leaving turn 4.
We're gonna watch back. What happened?
I went into turn 3 with a run. I saw everybody else take the run. I was just kind of hoping I could get there.
We saw it.
I felt the contact leaving turn 4, and that ruined just enough momentum that cost me the race.
So looking back, you truly believe, I know you just said it, but you truly believe you and Buizy getting into it just ever so slightly was the difference between winning and losing?
Just a half a mile an hour could have cost that race.
What do you want to say to the viewers?
Thank everybody who watched, and hopefully we can finally win one, an e-ticket.
You got the Hoosier 400, will be back at Indianapolis. You got the NWP 400, and you know what, Buys? A win like that sets you up for so much more. It creates a storyline behind you. It gets everyone talking. One of now many drivers to fall victim to the 87 falling, or should I say just claiming victory. But man, what a run for you. You're up front. You're leading laps. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that is P2, and you could hear it in his voice, right? Just the I wouldn't say the overall regret, but more of the overall loss of words, because he was just oh so close. It was just unbelievable how this event went down. Was not at all able to go ahead and get it. Buizy is not in any of the chats. Unfortunately, we will not be able to speak with him. So you know what? I'm going to look up and down. I kind of want to get the driver of the day, possibly. You know what? How about just the driver that finished in 4th, right? Aiden Walker in the Lotus, just so quick. Nope, not able to get him as well. He is dropped to the wayside. So if Chad Hornish is in one of these chats, we'll go ahead and speak with him. But my, oh my, what a race this was. How it came down to the finish, how it was wild, how it was nuts. So many drivers that are just tired, and we'll speak with Gavin Austin. Austin, the highest finishing Cadillac. P7 it is for you. Does it feel a little different than a couple weeks ago in Talladega?
Man, I mean, I'm looking back at it now. I was just talking to Demos. Congratulations to him, bro. I should have put him in the wall back at Dega, and he'd still be a 3-time. But jokes aside, you know, it's a fun race. I didn't really think I had a lot of speed going into it, and you know, I was honestly kind of happy with how much speed I had. I had it really close incident when Jackson Bice got wrecked. Barely made it through. Happy to, you know, get through that wreck and get a nice top 10 finish out of it. So, you know, happy day for me. Happy day for RGR. 2 RGR cars getting the top 10. So, you know, it's a pretty good day.
You know, about this event, it really did show early on that there wasn't as much practice as last year leading in, right? We lost Wednesday. We lost Thursday. That big test where mostly everyone came out on Tuesday was really it. How were you able to kind of tiptoe through the wildness to then set yourself up for that final half?
You know, there was a lot I kind of did. I had Hector, you know, kind of walk me through some stuff during practice and how to run, and you know that helped me a lot. And honestly, it sucks for Hector how he got wrecked out early on, because I think honestly he had a really good shot at, you know, bringing that 95 into victory lane. But yeah, I honestly kind of relied on him, and even Yahir on some help, and they helped me out a lot. Kind of taught me what to do, and yeah, I honestly got to give a big thanks to both of those drivers for helping me out.
Congratulations on finishing this event.
Thank you, John.
That's Gavin Austin. Man, what a race this was. Let's go through the results quickly. Daniel Mosteller wins the race. Jackson Bice finishes second. Chevrolet's going 1-2, putting Honda back in a big sire, and just, you know, thinking, hey, maybe next year, 2026, does Honda finally get that elusive e-ticket title. Akabuizi in third, Aiden Walker, Trevor Huff, with Kevin Champagne being the fast 6. Gavin Austin, Chad Hornish, Xander McKinney, and Brad Gutierrez making up what would then be the top 10 machines. Jeff Berchatsky in 11th would be the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Dale Greenwood, Eric Lambombard, with Zachary Truhl, James Bomar, Van Drugman, Sean Rowe, Max Steinmeier, Christian Delgado, and Eladam Contreras. Contreras being 20th out of the 43 entries. Yaroslav Donskoy, Caden Rush falling out due to internet and inclement weather heading his way. Fyodor Dovchenko, Jaden Hall, Max Swearigan, Derek Shaver, Everett Couch, with Abraham Vila, Joe West, and Terrell Owen making up that top 30. Devins Baker, Yahir Rodriguez, Riker Byram, Zachary Trevino, Chase Kroll, Braden Lovick, Hector Colazzo, Connor Murphy, David Joyner, and Jacob Malone, all following behind Davis Lewis and Jeremy Miller. Michael Mitchum was supposed to make it to the grid, did not make it in time. Man, oh man, a closing statement on one heck of an event. For the ones that don't know, we did not have practice Wednesday and Thursday because I went to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yes, the racing capital of the world, not the one in the sim, the one in reality, to call day 3 practice from 12 to 6 o'clock for IndyCar Radio. A lot of you guys went ahead and listened in on that. Very grateful for that. I have that whole downloaded broadcast to listen back on and use that hopefully to continue this broadcasting career. But yes, what a day it was, from coming home about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to then quickly getting to work. We got a lot of things ready for pre-race, and then due to inclement weather on the way, and now it feels like it's not far out. And we're going to continue to look in on how Jared is doing. Going to call him soon right after this. Having to move the start time up just in case. And honestly, that did make a big difference as the inclement weather is really on the scene of us now. So thank you for everyone that got here just a little bit earlier so we could start this race on time and get it in. And from the wildness to the stories to Jarrett getting the call saying that he has to get in the car and race his way across town, to you guys sticking with us. There was something around every corner. There was something around every bend. From the sim side to reality, this event has mixed both worlds, the most of any e-ticket, and then a veteran wins it once more over the underdog. A story that lives on in Indiana. I'm John Ramos. That was Jarrett Lumberg. That was alongside for the first 150 or so laps. You have been the great viewers, as this has been the 30th e-ticket event, the Indiana